Blank check with Griffin and David. Blank check with Griffin and David. Don't know what to say or to expect. All you need to know is that the name of the show is Blank Check.
Where are you from?
Different podcasts.
Okay. That was very quiet.
That's not.
I think she's quiet
No,
until
she-
she gets loud.
She yells it.
No.
They're different points.
podcasts.
There it
Different
is.
points where she's asked that. I
Ben
thought
just
you
gave
were
me a look.
doing.
David, don't yell at the mic.
Hey, Ben, blowing up.
Sorry.
Please. Please. Ben, check the levels.
What's your
there.
social security number?
I thought you were doing that one. And that one, she's pretty muted.
Different places. No, in that one, she says she's from New York
Oh, you're
in
right.
the job interview.
Isn't there an earlier one where she's kind of quiet?
Different places.
Okay, let's take two. Ben,
No.
cut
We're
everything
just going
out.
to keep going. I love it.
David, cue me again.
All right, fine. Where are you from?
Different podcast!
Yeah, that's what we need. Right there. Right there. Ben's happy.
Ben's thrilled.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Blank Check.
Pow! The Blank Check with Griffin and David. Drinking raspberry coffee.
We're going to have a lot of blown
drinking
sound
what?
in this one.
I'm drinking raspberry coffee.
Are you really?
Yep.
That's a thing?
And I
And you admitted to it.
and I have a food item here that our guest has already dragged before I've even taken my first bite.
All I did was ask what it was, but that was sufficient
But
to
you
drag
know, you know that me having to answer is a self dunk.
it. Yeah, so please
You
go
know,
on.
you're forcing me to
What?
dunk on myself.
It's
by
sort of
answering.
a, what are those? But just about the, whatever the
A
fuck it
white
is.
cheddar bagel twist.
Why are you saying white? Just say cheddar.
No,
it's
because
a-
that is what
it's-
it's called,
yeah,
and
it's
you
a-
need him to say the full name.
It's a white cheddar and a raspberry coffee.
You went to the coffee place, to Dunkin' Donuts. I
Yeah,
believe.
let's use the proper name. The coffee place I went to was Dunkin' Donuts.
You went to Dunkin' and you were
Yeah.
like, no, raspberry. Yeah. Let's have a little raspberry in the
oh,
coffee.
yeah, because you have
today.
to ask for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said one small black. Actually, make it a raspberry coffee.
I love Dunkin' Donuts, but my problem with Dunkin'
America runs
Donuts
on it. Yeah.
sure,
Yeah.
is it is tough just to get like a black coffee with nothing in it there sometimes.
Oh, that's true.
Where they're
Sure.
like, you're like, can I get just black coffee? And they're like, yeah, like 8 packets of sugar though, right? And
Right.
you're like, no sugar. And they're like, oh no, so 4 packets of sugar. Like, they really have to be talked down
Okay,
from
so
putting something in your coffee.
Usually, I just go black with nothing, right? And I feel like I get all those follow-up questions.
Right,
and I want them to just accept. I go, hey, just black coffee, nothing in it, right?
Yeah.
And they still ask
One
the follow-up
black
questions.
coffee.
This time I said, hey, can I get a raspberry coffee? And they went, black? And that was the end of the questioning. So I might have come up with a life hack here.
They were trying to give you an out.
Yeah.
Life Hacks with Griffin and David. Welcome to our life hacking podcast.
Yes. Life hacks. This is a podcast about life hacks.
with Griffin and David.
This is a
Like it all
podcast
be food related.
about
Yeah, of course.
biohackers who...
Go on.
No, this is a podcast. I can't
All right, it's a
sustain
podcast
that.
about filmographies.
Directors have massive success early on in their career and are given a series of blank checks. Sometimes those checks clear and sometimes they bounce, darling.
Darling.
Sometimes they bounce to different places. See, I turned away.
Darling.
Ben's not happy this time.
Producer
Yeah,
Ben's
great
not
job.
happy.
I'm so proud of you, David. Good.
Boy.
Ben's in a little bit of a know me mood today.
Mhm.
He seems very placated, and then a millisecond later he will scream.
We're going to have some mood swings.
He also keeps taking his shirt off.
Well, listen, it's more comfortable for me.
Okay.
You have a problem with that?
No, I just...
Hey,
Do you need me to get some ice?
yeah.
Hey, I guess it's getting ice for Ben. I don't,
Ben's a prick. Okay? What's the exact line? I need to call up the wiki quotes or whatever for this because
Yeah.
there's so many
There are
quotes.
too many.
Let's
We've
just
been like...
do a table read of this script quickly.
Oh, boy.
This is a miniseries about the films of Paul Verhoeven. It's called Podship Casters, and we've gotten today to...
I'm going to send this to you. Go on, Carrie. Because you need to just read this aloud, Ben. It's perfect for you.
This is a fulcrum point movie. This was a huge flop upon its release, and then has become weirdly one of the more profitable movies of the 90s.
Yes. One of the most profitable home releases of all time.
of all time. It's called Showgirls.
It was the first studio NC-17 film, right?
Yeah, it was trying to break that glass ceiling.
Because like Henry and June, that was like an indie movie, right? I'm trying to think of
Yes.
prior NC-17.
This was like the first big studio funded where intentionally we know going into this it's going to be an NC-17.
I think and Henry and June is the only other studio because I think Henry
Okay.
and June, hilariously enough, was a Universal film.
Really?
Which is insane. Where Philip Kaufman was like, Anais Nin, can I... Anyway, sorry.
Anyway. And people thought this was going to be like the one that broke ground and allowed NC-17 movies to be a viable financial prospect by studios, and
not so much.
It was totally abandoned after this film.
But you're right. We're talking about Paul Verhoeven here. What did you name the Podship Casters?
Podship Casters, I named that, and the film is called Showgirls.
Showgirls. So yeah, this is a man who was when he made this movie, Hollywood loved him. He hadn't had a flop yet.
No, he had not.
3 huge hits in a row: RoboCop, Total Recall, and Basic Instinct.
Yeah.
I mean, each one bigger than the last,
yes,
almost.
Truly, right? I think each one outgrossed the... we looked up. Total Recall made a little more than Basic Instinct.
But Basic Instinct was
right.
A more surprising phenomenon. Right,
yes,
exactly.
Yes. Right, so this is a big swing here. And it's also...
Guess so.
Huge.
Yeah.
It's a big swing for Joe Esterhaus, for sure.
Well, that's the other person we got talking about.
Right.
We'll have talked about him in the Basic Instinct episode last week. But this is when he really has... total carte blanche to do whatever the fuck he wants. This movie was a pitch written on a napkin, which was sold for $2 million.
That is correct.
This entire movie feels like it was written on a napkin.
The napkin was $2 million.
Correct.
Then he got an additional $1.7 million for the script itself.
Yeah.
Oh.
Right. They had to pay $2 million for the napkin, so they'd have the honor of paying him an additional $1.5 to write lines like...
That is true.
Which, fun fact,
I'm not even going to say the line.
is in a Planet Hollywood in Cincinnati.
Oh, the napkin?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh,
really?
In Cincinnati?
Why not?
Of all places? Why is it in Cincinnati?
You got to put some stuff in. I don't know.
I mean, they got to fill out all the different planets.
Different places. Oh, introduce our guest. Or I'll do it.
Our guest has done a great job talking before she was introduced.
Which is what we want.
The earmark of a great blank check guest.
Yep.
Oh, no pressure.
She is a friend and a writer whose work you can read on Vox and other places.
Different places.
Different places. Different places! Ladies and gentlemen, Caroline Framke is here.
Hi.
Former AV clubber.
Oh, yeah. That's how David and I know each other.
In the
That's
trenches
right.
together?
I'm doing finger guns in his direction. You can't see it.
Were you ever in the
Good.
same office, or were you just
No.
on the same site?
We were
I didn't
just on
actually
the
even
same
meet
site.
David in person until like a few years ago
That's right.
because I lived in
you
LA
lived on another coast.
and he was furious about it all the
I
time.
lived in a different place.
I didn't meet David until today.
Shit.
Oh.
Yeah.
How you doing?
I'm doing okay. It's very different than I thought you'd look.
Hey, how you doing?
I always thought you were Ben from the artwork. I've been recording every episode in studio, but in a box.
Yeah,
They
no, he
wheel
comes
me in
in.
a box.
Yeah.
I feel like we're in a fittingly stupid
Yeah,
mood
well,
for this
this
show.
is-
Yeah.
the
So
podcast
the
is
Show,
pretty
this
stupid.
movie. Can you
this
tell me
is
right
where-
about TV most of the time?
Yes. Well, this is a movie about shows. It's a movie about shows.
There you go.
Showgirls.
Yes.
The business of show.
The business of show,
Girls.
and no business like it, in that it is objectively the single worst business. That's the thesis of this movie.
Certainly.
Certainly.
Showgirls. God, where do you even begin with Showgirls?
Well, yeah. So let's talk about
Because when I put this
Yeah.
on last night, Joanna was like,
your girlfriend.
true.
Humble brag.
Was like, asked the pretty normal question of
What the fuck is this?
what's it about?
Uh-huh.
Like, how do you pitch Showgirls?
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, it's like this like Star is Born kind of thing, but it's like very sexually explicit, so it was rated NC-17.
Right.
And her response was, I don't want to watch that.
And also, literally every character you will meet for the entire runtime of this film
It's bad.
is an abuser,
Yes.
Okay.
is abused
No.
on screen, or both.
There's
Yes.
one character who's the best character.
Yeah,
but-
her friend.
Correct.
Right?
Oh, no,
Oh,
now
no.
I feel bad because it wasn't her friend. And
Well,
I feel
but
bad.
he
She's
actually
really
said
nice.
is abused on screen, and of course she
That's
does.
what I'm saying.
Oh,
I'd say
yeah.
every character falls into one or the other.
Okay.
If you
But-
like a character, you have to watch them go
But
through horrible
who are
things.
you going to say?
Crystal Connors.
Oh, you know what? You know what? She's not wrong.
It's a hot take.
Because the thing
Is
about
it?
Crystal Connors is she dances up to that edge, but she never actually does anything. Now, is that a
No.
fault of a strange script that sort of forgets about
Probably.
her? Maybe.
Maybe.
But Gina Gershon's like the only one in this movie who I think does anything
Ben
worthwhile.
and I were discussing this off mic, where we're like, is she actually good? Like, she's
She's
almost,
good.
I can't
almost
figure
entirely
it out.
helpful.
I can't. I've been trying to crack this one for 15 years.
But, like,
Yeah,
she's-
why is Nomi mad
Yeah.
at her?
Oh, well, that changes every other scene they
It's
have.
so unclear their dynamic
Yeah.
between the two characters.
No, I mean, they're totally confusing. I think Gina is good.
The movie is positioning her.
I can't figure that one out
The movie
either.
is positioning her as a
We'll get
predator
there.
for the first half, and then it just sort of stops doing it. And so
by the end, it
No,
kind of
she just wants to
presents it
sleep
like a
with her.
tragic love story. Right. At the end, it's almost like a Cyrano thing.
that's true.
You know?
I mean, we'll get into it, but I love that the subtext of every female rivalry becomes text in this. It's just, they want to fuck though.
Mm-hmm. They want to fuck.
I respect that.
Yeah.
Very baseline, I respect that about this movie.
I also think maybe he thought of it as a twist, Esther House, where it's like,
Right.
you think she's the one who's trying to kind of like manipulate her into bed.
Sure.
And Kyle MacLachlan is like the friendly guy
Yeah.
who's with her.
And then twist, he
And then
sucks,
twist,
too.
he sucks. But it's like, we
We
saw
knew he
him.
sucks. Yeah.
We're aware that he's going to suck.
Well, and
like,
the
it's
other
not
thing-
exactly
yes.
shocking that he sucks.
I think if
The
that
one
was,
nice thing he does is he's nice about Versace.
Sure.
That's his cool moment.
What do you mean?
Versace.
Versace.
Oh, okay. Right.
Versace.
If that was meant to be a twist, the problem is that Paul Verhoeven is a director who does not like actors to play subtext.
Certainly less and less as his career goes on as
Right.
well. Yes.
Right. You know, maybe he gets it a little back once he leaves Hollywood, but
He does, but not.
Yeah.
I mean, because I would say Starship Troopers is even less
correct.
has even less subtext than this film, which is impressive.
Correct.
Doesn't seem possible.
That movie is actors as props. That's
Yes.
like
That
actors
movie,
as mannequins.
He has no respect for the actors,
Right.
Openly.
Openly.
But at least the lead actors. He has no
Yes.
respect for Casper Van Dien.
Yes, which we're going to talk about
But in this movie,
with our guest Casper Van
this
Dien.
movie, he'll do it.
That'd be incredible.
Yeah.
This movie, I feel like he does have respect for his actors, except maybe Elizabeth Berkley. I have no idea what
Well,
that
I
relationship
was reading some
would have
interviews
been like.
with him because I
He's a weird man.
I was gonna. I think you wanted me to tell the story of how I first saw this movie because that is
Please.
what convinced you I should do it.
Mm-hmm.
But part of it was because, all right. So this is such a roundabout way to get to where I was going. Well, I guess that's this podcast, right?
Well,
Come
travel
on,
through
Caroline.
different places.
So when I was living in Los Angeles, David's
That's
favorite
probably
place.
why.
L.A.,
Yeah.
baby.
LA.
I love L.A. It's a song I wrote that Randy Newman sang.
Oh, it was really good.
It's really about how
Yeah,
I
there's-
hate L.A.
Yeah.
Oh, subtext.
Yeah, the thing about Randy Newman is he's a tricky little bastard.
Sure.
Sometimes he sings stuff that he doesn't mean.
All right. We are now
Whoa.
sidetracking a sidetrack conversation.
No, this is perfect.
Hey.
Yeah. So there are these outdoor screenings in the summer at Hollywood Forever Cemetery. Really
Yep.
fun. And for the 20th anniversary of Showgirls, they were going to do a Showgirls thing. It was packed. I think it was sold out, which is about
It
4,000
was
people.
in the cemetery.
Yeah,
It was in the
Hollywood
cemetery.
is the single best place to watch Showgirls.
It's
Because that's
awesome.
what this movie is, essentially.
Yeah. I mean,
He's not wrong.
No.
Thematically?
Yeah,
not wrong.
yeah.
Not wrong. It's always fun, but it's especially fun for the stuff that's super campy because everyone's been there for hours waiting
Sure.
to get in. Everyone's drunk.
Right,
It's summer. It's
It's
you-
a
I saw a
capital E event.
Right. Like I think I saw like a sedate Hitchcock there once and I definitely fell asleep and it wasn't the movie's fault.
Right,
I was
no,
like,
yeah,
eh,
yeah.
It's not what
It's
we're
easy
here
to
for.
fall asleep with those
Right.
outdoor
But
things.
Showgirls is perfect.
Yeah.
Yep.
And right before it starts, the guy's introducing and then he's like, oh, we have a special guest. And out comes Elizabeth Berkley. The whole place goes fucking crazy.
Yeah.
So this is
It's June. Oh, I looked it up because
What year?
someone had a video of it. It's June 26, 2015, because that
So
was
it's
also
the-
the day that the Supreme Court backed same-sex marriage.
okay.
I
So
know.
it's the 20th anniversary, and it's,
Everyone
right.
at the screening is in a great mood.
Yep.
Right. Elizabeth Berkley comes out.
And that's, by the way, why the Supreme Court came down
Yeah,
that
yeah,
way.
yeah.
is
They were to
all
mark
gonna
the
vote
anniversary.
nay, and then they realized that Showgirls.
Shit, it's the 20th anniversary.
Yeah.
All right.
You
go
can't
on,
disrespect
go on.
it. No, but I mean, it was, I had never seen it.
Okay. Wow,
Um,
that's quite...
You'd
yeah,
heard
wow.
of it, I'm
I'd heard of it.
Yeah.
I'd heard bits about it, but I had never seen it, which I gather is, and I hadn't even seen it on cable in pieces or anything. Like I hadn't seen any of it.
Mhm.
I knew some of the quotes. I knew some of the, I knew the hands, which she did for us, by the way. She ended her speech
Good
like
for her.
it was like a mic drop, but it was the hands.
Uh-huh.
I think we should use that.
Because I feel like she has a complicated relationship with the
She really does.
really
And
does.
she basically, she looked out and she was like, this is incredible. And I'd never watched this movie with anyone who liked it before, basically.
Aww.
It was actually like you should look it up. It's really, it was pretty touching because she was like, I had an incredible experience making this movie. I fought for this part.
She really thought, like,
Yeah.
this was going to make
Yes.
her...
Right.
Yeah.
The list of actresses who turned
It's
down
nuts.
this role.
Insane.
Isn't Charlize one of them?
Yes.
Angelina Jolie was...
And we're talking about Charlize and Angelina when they were not
Right.
famous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So, but Elizabeth Berkley got it instead.
She did.
And she was like, I mean, I think she even stopped dancing after this. This is why Dancing with the Stars this is the hole I fell down.
Her whole career got kind of quiet. I mean, she's one of those people where I think the public response was so harsh to the movie that she kind of went like, I'm fine backing away.
Well, also
She
her
basically-
agent fired her.
Yeah, I mean,
We're gonna talk
she...
about
which is fucked up.
Yeah, no, she got a lot of blame for this, which is not totally fair. And she was talking about how, when she was 23, she was like, I was young and it was hard. And
23.
it was...
When it came out, she was 23.
Right.
Yeah.
So that part was depressing because she was like, I had this incredible time making this movie, and then it came out, and then it was more painful than you could imagine because everyone hated it so much. So she was really excited to watch it in the cemetery with 4,000 drunk idiots who loved her movie.
And knew every line.
Yeah.
And every
Knew every line.
gesture.
She was like, there are 4,000 nomies here, 4,000 crystals. Your nails look amazing.
That's
Bet
really
they
sweet.
did.
It was really nice. So then, that's how I went into Showgirls, which was pretty
Right,
cool.
Right, that's
Best
an
way
interesting
to
way
see
to
it.
go into
Yeah.
it, though, because, like, the first time I watched Showgirls, as I was telling Ben off mic, I was 13 years old. It was on British TV late at night. And yes, I did grow up in Britain, Caroline.
Did you?
As did you.
A little bit.
A
what?
little bit.
There are two of us.
Oh, you've been in the box. Yeah, he grew up in England.
Go on.
But Caroline,
What?
Everywhere.
can you double layer the Big Ben shines?
Perfect. I mean, I didn't grow up there as long as you did. I think it was just like 3 or 4 pivotal years. It was like 9 to
Sure.
13.
What were your years?
Right.
Who were your years?
Who were my years?
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, no, I moved there the week that Princess Diana died.
Okay.
That's true.
1997.
So what were your ages?
Like 9
9 to
to
13. She said
13.
it.
Yeah.
Oh, 9 to 13. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and-
Those are years.
Right.
Those
And
are
then I moved
years.
back
Yeah.
to the same town I moved away from, and puberty had hit me all wrong.
Hey, man.
It was perfect.
Happens to us all.
I know. Yeah, so those were pivotal years, though. I didn't do boarding school. I didn't do that. You didn't.
Getting a phone call.
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
Fine. It's fine. So you watched it on TV, but it was uncut.
It was coming on
British
TV. It was
television.
British
Yeah.
TV, so it's uncut. The only thing you're not allowed to show on British TV is an erect penis. And even
Really?
that, I think you can show, but maybe not on the BBC. Maybe these
Okay.
rules have changed, though. I'm talking about when I'm a kid.
Yeah.
I just remember that used to be the rule where it's like the BBC will show anything but an erect
That's the
penis.
one
Yeah.
bridge too.
Yeah,
far.
they-
And how old
they-
were you again? You're 13?
13, and so
Perfect.
I know what this movie is,
Right.
like vaguely, because if it's 13, this is a few years after Showgirls came out,
Yeah.
where I'm like, oh, that's the like famous sex movie. Great, I can't wait to watch this. It's going to be an awesome experience for a 13-year-old horny boy.
Which is definitely
like,
how I
it was like
watched
that
it the
Big
first
Mouth
time
moment.
too. Yeah.
Exactly. And then I watch it, and like even 13-year-old David 5 minutes in was like, oh no, this is not going to
is not what I thought
satisfy
it was.
whatever I was looking at to
This
satisfy.
is for me one of the least erotic experiences
it is-
movie
it
watching.
is
Incredibly,
experiences.
aggressively unsexy.
It's
Right,
really
it's almost-
bizarre how unsexy
almost
this film
ruinous.
is. Yeah.
Like
No, at several points during this movie, I'm like, no one involved in the making of this film has had sex
No.
or knows what it looks like.
No.
it's war on the breast.
Yeah.
I was in pain.
On the eroticism of the breast, I guess is the better way to put it, because it celebrates its.
Oh, I thought you meant physical war, and I was like, no, I felt the physical pain. No,
There's a lot of bouncing.
But in all senses, in terms of the imagery, in terms of the energy of the film, like everything about how this film positions
Anyway.
sex, the human body,
But I mean,
dialogue
I think
between
it has a
human
lot of
beings, and,
honesty about like the
yeah.
utter commodification
Yes,
going
yeah.
on in these. But anyway, so instead, I was just transfixed by this really weird movie.
What the
like when
fuck
I was
is this
13,
thing? Right.
and then
Yeah.
like not long after that, basically when I was a teenager, I had friends who were certainly any friend I can think of who was obsessed with this movie was gay. Not to paint with a broad brush or whatever,
Sure.
but
I
certainly
mean, I already did.
a lot of
Caroline repainted the whole studio. Broadly.
And so, I mean, I have seen this movie many times.
Sure.
My former roommate, Andy, who I've shouted out on this podcast before because he was a big Clifford fan. Hey, listen back to that episode, folks. His family named their dog after Clifford, which is still to me the weirdest thing in the world because,
Why is that weird?
because one, there's a famous dog called Clifford.
Well, sure.
But
named
they
after
named
Martin
him after
Short
Martin Short's
Clifford.
character in the movie Clifford.
Oh, okay.
It's like
Very
if you
strange.
name
I'm
your
with you
dog
now.
Beethoven because you like the composer.
I mean, that's why Charles Grodin's family named him Beethoven, right?
Oh my
and
God, you
also
knew
in
this.
the plot of Clifford, they name Clifford because they like the books.
You should have named the dog Mason if you wanted to do it right.
Yeah, that would have
I want to say Mason.
That's it.
He loved my roommate Andy, former
Yeah.
roommate Andy, loved this movie, and we used to do different places at each other a lot, and a lot of other lines. It was a big movie for him. So I've always known this movie as like a beloved camp classic, even if it's never been one of my movies exactly.
Sure.
But like I've seen it a lot, and it's
Yeah,
sort of
I've like probably seen this movie 5 times.
Yeah.
I definitely watched it the first time. There was an Entertainment Weekly, I think it was 2003 cover story, the top 25 cult movies of all time.
Sure.
And I was like 13, 14. That was the exact age where I wanted to read that cover story and be like, what are the movies that can make me think I'm cooler than other people? Because I appreciate them on a different... Right. And so I, for a while, was like systematically trying to go through all of them, either from renting them or scanning when they were on TV. And so I feel like I probably watched it for the first time with that frame around it, but also
on cable TV.
And as a horny 14-year-old boy being like, well, look, I can't lose. It's Showgirls. I'm going to get something out of this movie. Right. And then by the time like minute 3 happened, I was like, well, I'm not liking this on that level at all. And then it just became this like fascinating curio object. And it was like, I would watch movies, especially at that time, things I knew had cult statuses.
Yeah.
I'd watch them be like, what are the lines I have to know to be able to quote back to people to show that I get it?
Of course you did.
Because I even remember at the time, like UCB had a long-running show called Showgirls, the best movie ever made, I think.
Right. Oh,
and it would be like every Saturday at midnight, they do like a Showgirls restaging. Like it was like peak New York City. Showgirls is like a barometer for whether or not you get it. And I wanted to like, you know, pre-digest the stuff. But then it was always just like a thing with like friends. If it was like finding a movie to watch, I'd be like, we should watch Showgirls. And it became this curio object for me because it is high camp, but also it's such a fundamentally fucking sad movie. Like there's this weird masochistic element to how many times I saw this when I was a teenager because this movie made me so uncomfortable.
You're weird. Because
this movie weaponizes sex in a way that totally turns me off and also emotionally is like devastating.
I mean, that's the movie he thought he was making.
Right. Which even if the movie doesn't totally work, it's still like a deeply bruising experience.
I mean, yes. And if you were just to explain the story without actually seeing the movie.
Right. Explain the story. Because it's very light on story.
Yes.
It's like woman moves to Vegas. She wants to be a showgirl.
And she does end the film.
Right. She's a stripper. She gets noticed by a showgirl. She becomes the showgirl.
Yep.
She usurps head showgirl by pushing her down the stairs and sleeps with her boyfriend in a totally normal way.
Yep.
The way they sleep together, I mean.
Oh, yeah. No, it tracks.
And then almost immediately realizes that the cost of fame is too high and leaves.
By way of her friend's gang rape.
Right.
Which we'll get to.
Oh, yes.
It's like a weird remake of The Red Shoes.
Or A Star is Born.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Which he said...
Esther House wanted to make like an old-fashioned MGM musical.
The two of them were like, we love old MGM musicals. Can we do a grand old, let's put on a show musical?
Right, but in the world of Vegas Showgirls.
That was then the next leap they made was contemporary, Vegas would be an interesting setting for it if it was that kind of world. And then somehow... They write that down on a napkin. They get $2 million, and this is what he
writes that down, and then this napkin ends up in Paul Verhoeven's hand.
Uh-huh.
And
they just work together.
Right, and he's like, great idea. Like
unsexy thriller time.
Right, exactly. I will make this movie, and then you're in trouble, because then Paul Verhoeven's like, yeah, whatever you think you want, I'm going to give you something else.
Right, he's the Randy Newman of filmmakers. Ding dong, ding dong,
Griffin,
ding dong.
get the door.
Okay, let's see what's... That's weird. I don't see anything here.
Is that a ghost?
Oh, yes, it's me.
All right. Stop blowing out the mics, ghost.
I'm the ghost of Julia Child. I don't sound like this because I'm a ghost. You may remember this is
how you talk.
Always sounded.
It's a real legend in the studio with us today, Ben.
I can't believe it.
How you doing, Julia?
Wonderful.
Oh my God. What's up?
Well, I've been struggling lately. I want to cook, but I go to the grocery store and the produce falls through my ghost fingers. I can't buy anything.
So you're saying you need someone to deliver the food to you?
Yes, to my ghost apartment.
You have a ghost apartment?
Yes.
Do you live ghost downtown?
Yes.
All right. It's good to know.
Yes, it's a ghost studio and a ghost walk-up.
Well, it sounds like you need maybe the leading meal kit delivery service in the United States to help you out.
Oh, yeah.
It's called Blue Apron. Maybe you've heard of it?
Yeah, I've worn a blue apron before.
Well, no, that's fine. I mean, to be clear, that's valid.
Oh, thank you.
But the Blue Apron is a service that delivers ingredients to your door so that you can cook food at home.
Cooking, I love cooking. How did you know?
Yeah.
I'm Julia Child.
Just random guess. Also, you've only been talking about food since you entered. Well, with incredible ingredients and chef-designed recipes, Blue Apron can let you see what the power of food can do.
So I can see the power of food, even though most people cannot see me.
I really want you to just talk as little as possible.
Okay.
Well, let me just tell you some things. I've been using Blue Apron for the last couple of weeks.
Humble brag.
Good call. Thanks for calling me out on that. Actually, keep me real. They send out fresh, pre-portioned ingredients in little packages with a recipe card and step-by-step instructions. You can make all these meals in under 45 minutes. Menu changes every week. You pick what you want from a variety of options. It's great.
Under 45 minutes sounds perfect because every hour on the hour, I'm dragged down into hell.
For how long?
2-3 hours.
Weird. Okay.
Every hour, I'm dragged for 2-3 hours and then go back to the previous hour as if the hours hadn't happened in between. Airtight logic.
Sorry for your torment, but does it help to hear that you can pick 2 or 3 or 4 recipes a week based on what fits your schedule?
Yes, that helps a little.
All right, this will seal the deal.
What?
It's non-GMO ingredients and meat with no added hormones.
Oh, but I'm sure I'll have to pay exactly what I felt comfortable paying plus another $30 for my first order.
No, blank check. Blue Apron is giving blank check listeners $30 off their first order. All you have to do is visit blueapron.com/check.
I have to check that I typed in Blue Apron?
Good. Thank you for double checking with me on this. No. You check out this week's menu and you get $30 off at blueapron.com/check. It's Blue Apron. It's a better way to cook.
Oh, I can't wait to go tell my friend Casper.
I want to...
Not the ghost, the chef from the movie Chef.
Uh-huh.
Jon Favreau's name was Casper.
Good to know.
Bit of a misdirect there.
Double misdirect, honestly.
Honestly, yeah.
Can I tell you about...
Can I tell... a little sweaty.
Can I tell you about a couple of the recipes that got coming up? You got strip steak and potatoes with spicy maple collard greens.
Okay.
I made that one. It was good.
Humble brag.
Spicy chicken and stir-fried vegetables with jasmine rice.
Humble brag.
If you want pasta, we got creamy fusilli bucati pasta with fried rosemary and walnuts. That sounds good.
Yes.
Can you eat?
No,
or do you just like cooking?
I like cooking.
All right.
It's
Well,
for
take
others.
advantage of Blue Apron.
Thank you. No, I just like making food for others. The selfless art.
Blueapron.com/check. That's where you want to go. $30 off.
Hey, Julia, come on, let's get out of here. Oh my God, David, look, it's Carl Casper, Jon Favreau's character from the movie Chef.
Oh my God, cut him off.
Okay, we're leaving. Bye.
Good Favreau.
So anyway, Randy Newman.
Oh, Randy Newman. He's a sneaky motherfucker.
So
He's
you're
a
right.
sneaky
No, but you're
little
right.
bastard.
Esther Haas came up with the idea in Maui on vacation.
Mm-hmm.
He told Verhoeven told Esther Haas he'd always loved big MGM musicals and wanted to make one. Esther Haas was like, what if we made one in Vegas? He writes something down on a napkin, gets $2 million. So, blah, 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 right? Like this, so this movie already has this notoriety as like the most expensive script.
Well, and this
of all
was
time.
the time period where there was like the arms race between Shane
and
Black,
Shane Black,
and
yeah.
Esther Haas to see who could get the bigger script
Right.
sale. And the other challenge was how quickly can you write your script?
Because The Long Kiss Goodnight was how Shane Black got like $5 million for
and
that.
he wrote it in
something.
like 18 hours or
Right,
something.
he,
It
like-
became like, how little work can we do to make the most money? And Shane Black like hit rock bottom and was like, my life is bankrupt. I need to get away from this.
Yeah, Shane Black actually just took 10 years off.
Right.
Whereas Esther Haas had to basically be like kicked out of Hollywood at
Yes.
gunpoint.
Right.
Because he was like, I've got more ideas, folks. I
They're
mean,
like, we're
I
good.
assume that both he and Shane Black were just, this movie feels like it was written by someone who has just can only consume cocaine. Like
it's
food
certainly different.
means
Yeah.
nothing
This was written
to him.
between the hours of 1 and 4 in the morning.
Exclusively. On one given night.
Every line.
Oh shit, my homework's due.
Yeah, right.
Every
Yes.
line is, to use a phrase that is more common in today's parlance, very extra.
Yes.
Where it's like, it feels like
it's doing the most. would you say?
exactly. Or it's like, rather than these people just saying like, hi, how you doing? My name's, Like, he's like, what if every line was just like extremely confrontational and aggressive?
Well, and it's also like
even like when it's just two friends meeting.
Yes.
I mean, there's a lot of soap opera in it.
Yeah.
Yes,
but
it has that Lifetime movie kind of vibe,
Yes.
but just jacked even higher.
And it's also like, okay, what is everything coke-addled Joe Esterhaus has ever wanted to say to a woman?
Ugh.
And then the other half of the dialogue is, what's everything I fantasized about a woman saying to another woman?
Right.
Like, the dialogue between women in this movie is bananas.
I know.
Bananas.
But it is amazing. I mean, Caroline, you already had a good take. I mean,
Did
like,
I?
well, yeah.
Which one? The Crystal Connors is my everything?
The subtext as tech, like.
Oh, yes.
Where there's like these weird flirtatious dynamics that like
Yeah, I mean,
mainstream Hollywood movies would usually avoid.
Right, but I mean, of course, they're written by men, but every
Yes, yeah.
female rivalry like that. I mean, actually, no. Bring It On wasn't written by. Was it written by men? I can't
It
remember.
was not.
now.
It was directed by a man, written by a woman.
That's right. Okay, but like you've got a blonde and a brunette who have a lot of chemistry, usually way more than the guy they're going for in the end.
Mm-hmm.
And I respect that this movie's like, yeah, that's exactly what's happening.
Right. Well, and I think so. Then he writes the script, and then Paul Verhoeven reads it, and he's like, "Yes, you've got it. Hollywood is all pimps, and all women are prostitutes."
Yes.
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 And Joe Esterhaus is like, I can't hear you right now because there's cocaine in my ears.
I have a guy blowing it into each eardrum with straws.
And Paul Verhoeven's like, yes, I will make this movie. That's. I just feel like that's the trick with him every time.
Yes.
Where he reads your trashy script and he's like, no, I understand. The world is shit. Yes.
Well, everyone is very bad to everyone. Well, that's what you and I both had to buy this on DVD in order to watch it for this.
I bought it on Blu-ray.
Oh, you bought it on Blu-ray. I'm so sorry.
Blu-ray.
Okay, so you probably had more special features. Than
I
did.
haven't watched any of the special features yet, but
It's
I have
not
the 15th
available.
anniversary edition.
It is currently unavailable to rent from any legal online streaming
No,
platform.
Fandango Now.
Fandango Now. I'm sorry. I didn't check Fandango Now.
I did not try it, though, so I can't speak for it.
I watched it on the much maligned Tubi.tv, which I'd heard mixed things from. And every 10 minutes, there's another 5 ads, and the movie took me 4 hours to watch.
Which is unacceptable for Showgirls.
Nightmare.
No, that's...
And there's too much introspection time within those ads to go, like, what am I watching?
Yeah.
Where am I in my life right now?
And were they at... I can't imagine they were at any logical break.
No, absolutely not. No, it's one of those like automated, arbitrary,
just like 12 minutes.
Every 9 minutes and 12 seconds.
Yeah.
It'll be like mid-word. It'll suddenly go to a commercial.
Yeah. And
it'll be like 5 insurance company commercials. But it's usually the same commercial 5 times in a row.
Oh, good. No, that's perfect.
I think I watched the best version.
Oh, please.
So I got it illegally.
Humble brag.
Yeah. But it definitely was like it was like in Technicolor. It was like an old...
It was super cranked up.
Oh, it was so just saturated. It looked like... It reminded
Your eyes
me of,
have just lit up.
Yeah.
It reminded me of watching TV in the 90s. Like, I got kind of excited by how shitty it looked.
That is kind of a cool idea. And, like, this whole, like, the director going, like, well, actually, I originally wanted to be in black and white. And then, like, fucking recolor timing it in black and white for some new Blu-ray release. It'd be great if Verhoeven did a new Showgirls where he was like, I just want to emulate, like, 4-strip Technicolor process and make Showgirls look like it was shot in 1952.
Hasn't he talked about wanting, like, he was like, if Elizabeth Berkley were still like 25, I'd do another one and be called Bimbos. I read that somewhere.
He really God.
I hope that's real. I hope I didn't.
What a bunch of glorious lunatics.
So that'd be great. But yeah, so we both watched it on DVD, but I watched like, there was one special feature and it was just a making of featurette and it was kind of depressing because there was so much work put in and everyone was so excited about what they were making. And Kyle Maclachlan at one point, and he's talked a lot about how he didn't realize what movie they were making and was horrified at the premiere.
Must have,
and
because
didn't know.
otherwise, why would he have signed on to this movie at this point in time? It's insane for him to do this.
So he's talking about the movie, and he's just like, well, it's, people, like, men manipulate women manipulate men, everyone manipulates each other. And I was like, that is not what this movie's about. But...
You also
now I understand why you did it, because you thought you were making that movie.
Right.
I guess.
I think the year before this, he plays the villain in the Flintstones. And that is a character with more subtlety and nuance. Is more sympathetic. Yeah. Yeah, like, why would he do this? It's just, like, this character,
well, because he was like, oh, this director, I like this director.
I guess, right. You go, like, he's a mad genius.
Yeah, he said it was like, I love Basic Instinct, I loved, Total Recall, I wanted to work with this guy. But then you read the script. Right. Like, at what point?
But up until this point, he's actually really good to his stars. And this is the film where his stars start becoming tools for his own subversion. You know?
Yeah.
Here's the list they have on Wikipedia in terms of other people who were offered Nomi. Pamela Anderson, Drew Barrymore, Angelina Jolie, Vanessa Marcel, Jenny McCarthy, Denise Richards, and Charlize Theron.
Oof.
Who none of them are like, really there at that point in time. Even the people who had the highest profiles are like Jenny McCarthy as an MTV host, you know?
And I mean, and if they were, then I don't know where their career would be now.
Right. And she was like a Saved by the Bell star. So this was a big thing to be like, I'm going to move into like real legitimate studio adult filmmaking. Not adult filmmaking, but
I mean, kind of.
That's the thing. And I think that she almost became a like cautionary tale against doing this kind of movie before you've proven yourself as a legitimate actress because it like ghettoizes you.
I'm back. Sorry.
Yeah. She
Jared
Kushner. At the cemetery. Oh,
yes,
he's apparently the guy getting implicated.
Oh,
great.
right.
Exciting!
Okay. So this episode's coming out.
I got hung up reading my phone while I was being because Jared Kushner is like the senior
very long
official.
Break.
Well, it's
Who knows where we'll be in a
MSNBC
couple
story.
This episode is being recorded.
Yes.
On the day that Flynn is testifying.
Or pleading
saying
guilty or
he's-
whatever.
Yes, right. He's pleading guilty.
which I did not know until the subway on the way here.
Anyway.
This episode will be coming out end of February, so we're at like a fulcrum point right now where we're just fucking burning up.
Hey, any
Who
predictions?
knows?
That's a good point.
Any
Like,
predictions?
Yeah.
we may not release these episodes.
Sarah Huckabee Sanders.
You know what I mean? Like the world might have ended.
Right.
Wait, hold on. We got a on the record.
On the record.
Oh yeah, on the record.
Sarah
Sarah
Huckabee
Huckabee
Sanders.
Sanders. Yeah, President
President of
Sanders.
the United States.
We finally got a President Sanders.
It goes all the way down.
Can I do my on the record?
It's like, and like the vice president is like a White House janitor or something. Like that's all the people who are left.
Can I do my on
God,
the record?
this is going to be depressing though, because like when it comes out, it'll be like God Emperor Trump has just like had a new heart transplanted so he can live for 1,000 years.
Imperator Trump.
Yeah.
Do you remember when we recorded our whatever episode where we realized it wouldn't come out? Oh, it was the Taruk the First
It was
Flight.
Taruk the First Flight.
And we realized it wouldn't come out until after the election.
Oh, no.
And I was like, oh my God, we can't even discuss the possibility that Trump's president in the world where this episode comes out. But like now we're in the opposite position where it's like can we let ourselves get up? Like 3 months from now, anything could happen.
Anything could happen. Who
I
knows?
think Elizabeth Berkley's going to be president by the time
I
this
think
movie
that's a
comes
great
out.
call.
I
would
think we're
love- she's
starting
ready.
She's
the
put in the
narrative.
time,
It's time for a revisit.
All right. So
I just remember
what were you guys talking about?
I had
Maclachlan.
we were talking about the
Berkeley.
list of actresses who turned it down.
Yeah.
Right.
But my cousin, I have a cousin who's like a decade or so older than me. And I remember him when I was in high school, humble brag, and I had seen Showgirls and I was really into it, talking about how he was like out at the bar with his friends, clubbing whatever, and one guy showed up with his new girlfriend who was Elizabeth Berkley. And he spent like the whole night talking to Elizabeth Berkley. And it was this thing of like, I just like, she's been a joke for so long. It was like so jarring to sit with her and have a conversation with her and have her be like so self-aware and self-effacing about the entire thing and sort of at peace with the thing in a weird way. And I remember hearing that for a number of years around that time, like people saying like, yeah, I met Elizabeth Berkley, and it's just kind of like, she doesn't have a chip on her shoulder. She's not like angry. She just kind of was like, this isn't worth it. But she's like so sweet and so smart, and it kind of fucking sucks what happened.
I mean, I think she was heartbroken.
Yeah,
I think she was really sad because
I do too.
Yeah, she really loved making this movie. She wanted it to be good, and then everyone was so fucking mean.
And this is also one of the most earnest performances of all time.
It's an incredibly earnest. The thing that's odd to me is I actually kind of like her in the Tom DiCillo, however you say that guy's name. DiCillo. The Tom DiCillo movie, The Real Blonde, which is a couple years after this.
Oh, I've never seen that one.
And like, it's like, she was in the First Wives Club. I think that's a pretty minor, but like,
that was like, the year right after this.
Right. Like, it's not like she's that bad in all these movies. You know what I mean? Like, you see Showgirls and you're like, does this person, like, it really feels a lot of the time like she's not reading what the other actors are giving her, which is like a very big, where like her energy is way too high or too low or something.
I mean, I was reading an interview with Verhoeven. He was like, everyone blamed that on her, but I made her kind of do that jerkiness.
Exactly. When you see other movies, you're like, no, it's not
That's not her.
Yeah, there's more going on there. Yeah.
This does feel like a movie where every performance was filmed separately.
Yes.
It does a little.
Yeah.
It's really bizarre. And I also think it's a movie that feels like you're watching a poorly dubbed version of like a foreign language cartoon.
Well, there's also the famous but bad dub of the movie, right? Where Berkeley refused to redub it for, I guess, the censored version.
Sure.
And so like it's a totally different actress.
Right. There was like a big VH1 version that built its own sort of like cult around it with really bad.
Is that the one with the drawn on bras?
Yes. Yes, like terrible.
Because like there's no way you can even have half that movie.
No,
without...
and it looks like what's it called? Wooly Willy. You know that thing where you draw the guy's facial hair with the magnet pen? It looks like that. It's just like barely sticking over there.
It's like one step above MS Paint.
It looks like Jessica Rabbit. Like that's what it looks like. I mean, here is a GIF right now.
Rabbit.
Well, no, you know what I mean. Like it looks like a cartoon.
Yes,
that's sort of like vibrating, if that makes sense.
Right,
like it has this sort of weird like motion to it.
Yeah, almost like Wooly Willy. Like almost like I nailed it in the first.
Yeah, you nailed it.
Okay.
Bends into this. Good GIF.
Good GIF.
I mean, this one's even crazier.
Let's just look at GIFs.
All right. Oh yeah, you're right. I'll stop.
Yeah.
No. I mean, I'm into it. That was a sincere suggestion.
Mm-hmm.
But I was saying while you were in the bathroom and we were all getting our hopes up about Flynn that this is the turning point where Verhoeven starts using his actors to his own means. Because I'd argue up until this point he's actually pretty good to his actors in terms of representing them well.
Yeah.
Giving them good platforms, giving them authorship in their performance, you know?
Right.
Whereas it starts to get to like, you are my puppets for every performance in this movie.
Right.
Which, considering what this movie is about.
Sure.
Yes. Yeah.
Why is this movie 2 hours and 10 minutes long?
Great question.
So I read this interview with Verhoeven. We'll get to the plot in a second.
15 minutes long. Yeah.
Well, it could be the length of like a Vegas show.
Yeah. This movie could be a Nickelodeon. Yeah.
I read this interview with him where he was like, I think the reason that movie just not work. I just do the Goldmember voice.
No,
Caroline's,
I love this.
Yeah, into it.
I keep perking up when it happens. No, please.
The movie has no real plot, and I think it should have had a murder mystery, and that would have made it more, gripping for the audience. And I'm like, dude, I don't think that's the problem, but also that is hilarious, and I would love to watch Showgirls where there's also a murder mystery.
It's like Crystal dies in the first third.
Sure, right, exactly. Who did it?
So that would have been a worse movie.
Know me.
I had not seen it in a while, despite having seen it several times, and I was watching it, and I was like, I remember this having this whole revenge thriller element, but I guess I was wrong about that. And then 8 minutes before the ending, I was like, no, I was right about that. He literally just does it in the last 8 minutes.
Well, and she doesn't become the showgirl until way deep into it. And then the corruption is like 10 minutes long.
Yes.
So that's weird.
It is. Well, and also the movie is from the beginning, different places, dropping hints about her like kind of dark past.
Sure. She doesn't want to give a real name.
Right.
She doesn't have a social security number.
She's very tense about all that stuff. And then
Nomi Malone is obviously a fake name.
Right. And then we're finally ready to reveal her dark past. She's like kind of a transient person
she's an orphan. She's
like
a foster kid.
Her life is just really sad. Like,
and
really
she
sad
like aggravated assault, in her past. And you're like, oh, well, okay.
And soliciting, and the whole time she's been like, I'm not a whore. And,
right. Like, and of course that is a crucial element, but it's not exactly like surprising enough to build your whole.
It's not earned at all.
No.
I think he thought that would then justify all of her kind of erratic behavior.
Sure, right.
But it doesn't.
That happens so late. Like,
it's so late.
The assault, the revenge, the reveal of her past, her getting the big role, all happens maybe in the last 20 minutes of a 2 hour and 10-minute film.
Yeah. It's way later than I remembered it being.
That section moves so fast, too.
Although it's really 2 hours because the credits are unspeakably long.
Yes.
For some reason, the credits are almost 10 minutes long.
And Tubi TV took 4 fucking commercial breaks during the credits.
So, Showgirls.
Sugar.
So, right. So, Esterhaus writes it. They get Berkeley. They get Gina.
A lot of French financing, which makes sense because, a more permissive culture.
They love tits. Because Bound is the next year.
Please.
So Gina Gershon is still kind of, she's still not
She hadn't had a breakthrough. This was supposed to be the thing.
So she's just playing like pretty gay seducers.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, that's the next year.
But it's crazy how close together this and Bound are and how different those two performances are in terms of one being a human being and one being a Hall of President's robot version of sexuality.
Okay, I love her, but that's accurate.
Right? That is.
I love
that's
Gina
fair.
Gershon.
No disrespect for my Dina.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And then Kyle MacLachlan, obviously.
Coming off the Flintstones.
Esterhaus and Verhoeven did extensive interviews with 200 Vegas strippers.
Wow.
And incorporated their lives.
And they still didn't manage to
into the
make a
screenplay.
single believable one.
Esterhaus took out a full-page advertisement in Variety, dubbing the film a morality tale, saying that it was being poorly advertised and that the film was actually about how dancers in Vegas are victimized and humiliated and raped by men who are the power centers of that world.
I mean, yeah, I'd say it's an amorality tale because the movie's just about watching awful things happen. Like,
she does get to like get hers at some point. Like, she has the revenge fantasy. She does like, I don't know. Well, no, she doesn't take his car, but like she gets the stuff. Like,
but I contend this is one of the most ominous and heartbreaking endings in the history of cinema in terms of literally the final shot.
Go on.
Yeah, I think he thinks it's like triumphant though. He's like, oh, well, she's got the knife and now she's going to LA.
I think it's really cynical, but we'll get to that when we get to that.
We will.
This movie starts at the bottom and goes lower, right? This movie is essentially like a journey through the circles of hell.
Right. Well, so Nomi Malone.
Yes. Side of the road. Hitchhiking.
Young drifter. Going to Vegas.
Right.
Gets picked up by her driver.
A real grease boy.
Who immediately essentially robs her.
Right. It's just like a fuck and is disrespecting
The person
her.
I was watching with was like, oh, is that Blake Shelton?
Does
Obviously it's not, but then I couldn't unsee it.
Yeah. That guy did, though.
Sexiest man alive.
He came in second. The guy from Showgirls came in second.
You know about the
What?
woman on the subway who said I look like Blake Shelton, right?
What?
No.
Did I not tell that story on this podcast?
No.
I can't remember.
But now you need to.
It's gonna be so
I was
topical
with
in this
past
one.
and future guest Esther Zuckerman on the subway riding home from a screening.
Oh, so there's a witness.
Yes. And a middle-aged woman on the subway was talking with her friend and she was like, you look like Blake Shelton. And I was kind of like for a while she's like, who is it? Who? You know, like they were sort of debating. Then she was
To
like,
be fair,
Blake Shelton.
you were holding a wishing boot at the moment. You were holding a wishing boot.
And so, you know,
God, stop carrying that wishing boot
you know,
around.
it's always
Dump the wishing boot, David.
it's always a crapshoot engaging with people on the subway who you
Correct.
don't know, right? Like it's you're always like, do I roll the dice? She seemed friendly enough,
Well, she thought you looked like Blake Shelton.
and
What's
so
not to like?
I sort of like laughed, and I was like, I'll take it, like because whatever, right? And she was like, "You're cute. Have no, sorry, I'll get this. I want to get this exactly right. You're cute. I can tell you've slept with a black woman." Which was just like, I mean, sharp turn is too
could not
light
have
for
seen
whatever
that
that
one coming.
was.
No.
It was basically
That was a 0 to
U-turn.
100 Nomi Malone style.
Esther Zuckerman,
Topic
of
change.
course, immediately bursts out laughing.
What
and
else
like,
do you
then
do?
it's like,
Yeah.
what do I do? Like,
Right.
what do I do now? Great. So I just sort of like, and like it's just like, God. Anyway,
So Blake Shelton gives Nomi a ride.
he pulls a
Right.
classic grift on her, where he like gives her $10 to play the slot machines, and while she's playing the slot machines, he takes all her shit.
Which
Right.
I have to say, she has one suitcase. It's probably full of like
Yeah, what's it full
women's
of? Like,
clothes.
Right. I mean,
She's hitchhiking.
like
She
shredded
doesn't have
paper?
anything worth taking.
Yeah.
So like, why go to that trouble?
I also think
If she had money, she wouldn't be hitchhiking.
This is true.
at this early moment in the film when you go like, oh God, naive babe in the woods, thinks she's going to make it honestly. Like, oh, yeah,
Well,
maybe
there's
she
also
would
that.
fall for this ruse. But by the end of it, you're like, she's fucking lived through too much
yeah.
bullshit to trust this guy to leave her suitcase
Yeah,
in
but
the
remember,
car.
she doesn't trust him at first because she pulls the switchblade
Right,
on him.
yes.
And then finally, he has that really, I think it's actually a really great line where he says, "So no one's ever been nice to you before?" And she's such an effective neg of her, where she's like, he's basically saying to her, "Come on, I'm just being friendly. Like, take it easy." And of course,
Yep.
lesson one: no, he's not.
Of course he's not.
All
Nope.
men are lying.
Well, and then also Showgirls in a microcosm. She puts one coin in the slot machine, and so many coins come out. She's fucking Scrooge McDucking it. She's dropping them all over the floor.
This is true.
She's made it. Her fortunes have changed immediately, and a
Right.
woman comes up and goes, "What about silver dollars?" And then just jump cut to no fucking money. Like,
Vegas.
right, And then she realizes, oh, how much time has passed? Where's this guy? Goes back. He's missing from the spot.
Okay.
Starts freaking
These
out.
30 seconds are the most confusing 30 seconds I've had in a movie for such a long time.
Okay.
We're
I had to
2
pause
minutes
it.
into the movie.
2
I had
minutes
to
in.
watch it 4 times.
So she realizes her suitcase is gone.
Yes.
She runs outside. She
Yes.
freaks out. She starts sort of like banging her fists on someone's car.
She's freaking out because the parking space is empty.
Yes, the car is gone. Her stuff
Right.
is gone.
So she starts attacking the
Someone
next
else's car.
closest car. Right.
The owner of that car, who's her soon-to-be best friend,
Molly.
Yeah.
Yes.
comes out and is like, "Get off my car."
Almost punches her in the face.
Almost punches her in the face.
Yes.
They freak out. They start fighting. Then
Yeah.
Nomi projectile vomits.
Yes.
Like
This is true.
projectile vomits.
Like brown, gross vomit.
And the friend I was
Horrible.
watching this with has like a phobia of vomit.
and
Like a
metaphobia.
legitimate
and
phobia
a
of vomit.
metaphobic person.
Yes.
Person.
Oh, nice. Good pull. And she panicked, screamed. We
Sure.
had to pause it.
It's a little rough if you are afraid of throwing up
because she was
people
like
throw up in movies like
all the
kind of
time,
a
but she's
lot.
like,
Yeah.
usually I know when it's coming
Sure,
because there's
sure.
a tell,
Right,
and in
sure.
this there's no tell.
No.
It just happens.
You don't even know that she was drinking.
Well, that's the thing.
Anything.
She wasn't drinking.
Yeah.
It's never explained.
This movie has a lot of cuts to like the
right.
future.
It's 2 hours and
without
10 minutes,
really
and yet it
filling things
feels
in.
like there are 3 hours missing.
This movie
It is fair.
And then she runs into the street. She almost gets hit by a car, and then they.
No, it's fucking crazy how many because also even before then there's the scene where he pulls the car over to the side of the road in front of a truck.
Right.
Like there should be 18 car accidents.
she almost dies 4 times in the first 2 minutes of this movie.
It's so stressful.
And then
So stressful.
Molly wraps her in her arms, and they gaze at each other with It's the most loving gaze I've ever seen.
And they hug with their faces so close together that when they're lining up for the hug, I genuinely thought, are they about to make out after she just vomited in the street?
It's so
they
sudden.
barely miss each other's mouths when they start hugging.
Right, and her mouth is still flecked with vomit.
Right. Poop water vomit.
Yes.
She vomits out diarrhea.
It's like it's black, it's chunky,
Yeah.
it's very disturbing.
Yes.
It's like Exorcist style, like there's a demon in you and you're throwing it up now.
And then hard cut to burger joint.
Hard cut to
Yeah, you
burger
just threw
joint.
up and now we're eating.
They're eating fries. They're eating a giant plate of cheese fries or something.
Having again one of the flirtiest conversations.
And she is eating the shit out of those fries. She's angrily slamming her cup down.
This is the
and
first
then,
different places.
Exploding ketchup onto
This is the first
fries.
different places.
Does she seem upset though?
Not yet.
It's a hard.
I'm not sure.
I'm looking for a tell in this scene.
Is she angry while she's eating those fries?
Well, I mean, if you look beneath
Right.
just sort of the surface level of what she's
Subtext,
saying.
if
Subtext
you
it,
will.
yes.
Right.
Paul, I feel like I'm playing the anger. Are you sure? She's not reading. I'm watching on the monitor. She's not reading.
Elizabeth Berkley did tell us all that she hopes that we all eat our fries as energetically as Nomi. And I have ever since.
It's
So
a lot.
she
I
has
just throw them.
seen this movie a lot. It sounds like
I
if she
guess
knows,
so. Or at
these
least,
beats
she
very
knows
well.
the moments
She
where
knows the
people
sort of, the
made
famous.
fun of it, or
Right.
she knows. She knows.
So cut from different places too. Nomi and Molly, who's played by Gina Rivera, who is a total unknown practically.
It was really good.
She had
in
been
it.
in.
She's fine.
She had played the role of Funk
really good
Queen in Lambada. She is, in my opinion, the best performance in the
I
movie.
agree with that.
Well, Gina Gershon is pretty fucking
Well,
incredible.
they're doing very different things.
But but I think her performance is harmful in some ways. And again, I think this is kind of Verhoeven's fault, where Nomi is dialed up to 10 million, whereas Rivera is playing Molly pretty normal and is quite a relatable human being from the second you meet her.
Yes.
And you're one, why are these two people friends? And two, what is wrong with Nomi or / Elizabeth Berkley? Is she is there a fire? What is happening to her?
And we seemingly hard cut from this burger conversation where Nomi seems like a lunatic to, now they've been living together for 3 weeks and they're best friends and she's gotten a job.
Not only that, she's a stripper, which is not explained until we see her at the strip club.
Correct.
Yes.
We cut ahead to already she's trying to get a job at the Showgirls. At the show, but she's a stripper, but we don't see her become a stripper. It's just kind of that's just what happens.
And Molly works.
Which I think is, to be clear,
Right.
a good decision story-wise.
Sure.
Well, yeah.
I actually like that.
Me too. But
I don't
Molly-
like that I'm glad there isn't a scene where she has to meet Robert Davi and he's listen, this is how I run my joint, cheetahs.
a meat ugly. Molly works at the show. She, even from the moment that Blake Shelton picks her up in the truck, is I'm a dancer. That's what I want to
Right.
do. And he's sort of making backhanded comments. And she's very clear in mind, I don't want to be a stripper.
Right.
And we flash ahead, however many weeks.
And also
that they've
in the
been
Vegas
together.
thing, there's that guy where some guy tries to pick her up.
Right.
And he's like, you're
sooner
going to
or
have to
later.
start selling
Right.
it sooner
Right.
or later. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then we jump
And then she
ahead,
does.
and she's doing the job that she didn't want to do, despite her best friend and roommate being the person who works at the place that she's trying to break into, but seemingly hasn't taken a swing at that yet.
Yeah. So she's working at Cheetahs. I want to read you the
Read me anything.
the Wikipedia entry for Cheetahs just for a
Oh,
second.
the real cheetahs?
Yeah, it's a real place.
Okay.
Cheetahs Topless Club is a topless bar located 2 branches, one in Vegas, one in San Diego.
Okay.
Best known for being featured in the 1995 movie Showgirls. Also known for having been owned by Mike Gallardi, a nightclub owner who was investigated by the FBI. The Cheetahs Club in San Diego is a full nude club. No alcohol is served. Interesting. It has achieved notoriety for being frequented by some of the September 11th hijackers.
Oh,
What a Wikipedia entry for your business.
that took several turns.
Yep, a lot of turns.
Do you think they were Showgirls fans?
The September 11th hijackers?
Yeah.
It's just really funny that when you go to see also, link 1, planning of the September 11th attacks. Plan 2, Showgirls. I mean, like, link 2, Showgirls.
Right.
Anyway, sorry.
Her best friend is a body comedian.
Yes?
Okay, and this was so.
Okay, so this is where I want Caroline to talk. Yes, I need Caroline to come in.
I
feel like you have much more understanding of the world of like burlesque and
I mean,
like,
to be clear, I'm like very adjacent. I have a lot of friends who are in nightlife and and I was watching the movie this week with a couple of them, which was useful because they're actually connoisseurs of bad movies.
Okay,
sure.
And also work in drag and burlesque and stuff. Mm-hmm. And the first thing they said about this strip club and the body comedian, who I think is in Orange Is the New Black.
Is she? Oh, I need to look her up because she's awesome.
She's really good in it. But the first thing they said, they're like, there's no fucking way that comedian is at that strip club. Like that strip club would not employ that person.
It's really odd too because it's right. Like all of the show, the strip club is just like two women naked grinding on each other.
Well, yeah, so that's the other thing.
Then like let's turn over to this stage though, and she comes out and she's doing like a vaudeville.
She's doing a vaudeville thing. She has a dress. It drops. Her boobs come out. It's a whole thing.
But she's like doing numbers. There's like jokes. Like it's
more drag than it is strip.
Her name is Lynn.
At a more high end artistic.
Well, yeah,
right.
Her name is Lynn Tucci.
She's the funniest person
Anita
at the Moulin Rouge,
Sure. She's the New Black.
Yeah.
Sorry, carry on.
Yeah. So that's very confusing. I mean, I didn't really understand what the strip club was for a second because you're just seeing the. Well, yes, thank you.
Well, we get a touch of the Tooch. In her
Lynn Tucci.
Yeah, touch of the Lynn Tooch.
Oh, okay.
Right.
I was like, are we talking about burlesque now? Are we talking about the movie Burlesque starring Stanley Tucci?
I mean, you get more than a touch in that one.
Yeah, that's true. You get a soupçon.
Soupçon.
So this is her work friend.
Soupçon. Huh?
This is her work friend.
Yeah, sort of the work den mother.
Henrietta Mama Bazoom. I'm sure that was her birth name.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they call her Henry.
Yeah.
And her boss is Robert Davi.
Yeah. In an Oscar, or was it a Nobel Prize winning performance? In my favorite performance in any film. I'm going to keep saying that every actor is my favorite actor in the movie. So we started with Molly, then it was Lynn Tucci, now it's Robert Davi.
Right. But he's in that great tradition of acne-scarred tough guys.
He's generically
running
awful.
The table in the late 80s, early 90s.
Right. He was born wearing a leopard print button down. Right? I mean...
Yes.
He plays his character's called Al. These are Al's girls.
You can call him Al.
He's Al? Doesn't seem like an Al.
What does he seem like to you?
Like a Vinny.
Yeah, I mean, not to stereotype, but
Yes, he could be a Vinny.
I'll just keep stereotyping for you.
Go on, keep talking.
He's a proprietor with a heart of shit. And we see a new employee come in whose name is Penny, but he tells her that I believe he says clients don't want to fuck a penny.
Yes, they want to fuck a hope.
Right. Now, do you know that the actress who plays Penny,
yes, this is the best,
years later wrote, directed, and starred in an unofficial Showgirls 2, reprising her character, and do you know what the title of that film is?
Isn't it called like Pennies from Heaven or something like that?
But
Which sounds like a porn title.
Penny
apostrophe
S,
right.
as in Penny comes from heaven.
Right.
Okay,
that is where she is coming from.
It's okay that you thought that was a porn title because her name in it is Penny Slot.
I just clicked on this movie.
Yeah, which is very easy to rent.
Which was funded with Kickstarter.
Cool.
This movie is longer than Showgirls. It is 143 minutes long. It was directed by fucking Bella Tarr. That's a dumb art film joke.
Yeah.
143 minutes long. Should we watch it?
I mean, probably.
Bonus episode?
Yeah, bonus.
How'd it do at the box office?
I believe it was not released theatrically.
I believe he's correct.
There was also a moment when she walked in and I thought she was Gina Gershon in a blonde bob wig. There was a moment.
A lot of wigs in this movie.
A lot of wigs.
Well, yes, a lot of wigs. Actually, pretty good wigs.
I was going to say.
Yeah.
But that's the thing about this movie is that it's, when I was watching it with these friends who like they watch terrible. I've watched some like truly like no one should. This
Sure,
movie
this
barely
is
came
kind
together.
of like
I mean,
a Crystal version of like, you
I've
know, like
seen
this
worse
is,
movies, but
Yeah,
it's
like
but they're like
Birdman.
but they're like we've never seen a movie this bad with this high a budget.
well, that's the thing. It's such an expensive movie, and it's all on the screen, in my
Yes.
opinion. Like
Yes.
it's actually
Yes.
a good looking
You can
movie.
see it.
This isn't like, it's not even like
Those
Battlefield.
Vegas shows are real shows.
There's money to be paid.
Right.
Those,
Yes.
you know, everyone who goes to Vegas is spending incredible amounts of money.
Yes.
Well, for me, there are like two different fundamental types of bad movies, right? Which are like bad movies where the thing just kind of like went wrong and it's a Frankenstein and it's just like not fucking cohesive, like a Justice League type of thing, right? Either, you know, the people involved didn't have enough experience, or the
Right.
budget ran out, or enough studio meddling or whatever. And then there are bad movies like this where it just feels like the movie somehow got caught up in some like Babelfish, like weird space where everything got mistranslated. Because the movie is kind of totally of a piece with its own fucking insane wavelength it's on.
Sure.
And all that money's up there.
No movie has ever been made like this again.
No.
Burlesque is kind of trying to be a like more sanitized version
Well,
of
see,
this
that's
movie.
the thing. Burlesque is trying to be this movie,
That's
and
why I think
Showgirls
Burlesque isn't
absolutely
as good.
stumbled into
Yes.
it. No,
Right.
Burlesque is not a good movie.
I
I
mean,
did
Burlesque
see it in
is fun.
theaters.
Yes.
Yeah.
I enjoyed Cher beating Kristen Bell's car with a crowbar. 'Cause
Correct.
How could you not?
It's a good movie about air rights, which are important to understand if you want to know about anything in real estate.
What's about the sky?
But Burlesque is like trying to grab at the sort of
Well, that's-
cubic zirconia at the center of Showgirls
Right.
and like
Right.
take it out and
Exactly.
like,
Yeah.
but you can't.
But like any camp thing worth being campy has no idea it's that.
Exactly.
Right.
That's why the first Sharknado is pretty fun, and every other one was a soul-sucking exercise
I mean,
in corporate bullshit.
Sharknado is the perfect example, right? Where they're like, more Sharknado, right? Ha 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 ha. We always meant for it. I mean, it's sort of like The Room, but even worse, where they're like,
Exactly.
nah, it was a joke. We know it was a joke.
And
Have
it's
I
like,
told
no.
you I auditioned, I think, for Sharknado 3, and they told me I was too big?
Like,
I
you're
got
too
the
famous?
Note, no. I got the note, my performance. Hey, tone it down a little.
What did you audition? What was the part?
And this is a
Some
movie that
kid
was
being
written-
chased by a Sharknado? I don't know. I went, oh, no, the Sharknado. Let's hide out in that library. And they went, hey, stop the camera for a second. Griffin, look, our director takes these movies very, very seriously,
Wow.
and he doesn't like to feel like the actors are mocking it.
Wow,
or
that
not
guy
like that.
sounds like an idiot.
Yeah.
Anthony Ferrante.
Yes.
He's directed them all.
Wait, no, I thought it was Thunder Lightning.
No, he wrote them. Thunder
Lightning.
Thunder Levin
Sorry, Thunder Lightning.
God.
of the
Only
Pennsylvania Levins.
Only slightly less ridiculous than what I just said.
All right, so Nomi,
Yeah.
she's a stripper at the
yeah.
Cheetah.
Yes.
We're not
The
far.
Cheetahs,
into
we're
this
doing
movie.
fine. We're doing
No,
fine.
we only have 2 hours left.
She's a stripper.
Yes.
Molly works as like an embroiderer. She's like a dressmaker
Right.
at the
Goddess.
the Goddess,
Right.
Stardust Casino.
Right.
The show is called Goddess.
But let's also say we're watching Penny
The
now.
show appears to be about some sort of goddess who emerges from a pile of rocks.
A volcano.
Yes.
Yes.
Um,
But I love the fake
Respect
rocks.
the
Fair
volcano.
enough.
Penny functions as this like, oh, this is probably what the first 3 weeks were like for Elizabeth Berkley that we've now skipped over.
Right.
It is
Except-
confusing bringing her in at that moment.
Right.
Because it feels like that's the point of the movie we're supposed to be at.
Yeah,
Right.
right. But instead, we're already seeing it echoed again and again
Yeah.
throughout. Like, Robert Davi's job is basically just to change women's names. Tell them who men want to fuck.
Right. But Molly takes her backstage to the show.
Yes.
Oh, that's right. She takes her as like a special guest. She gets
Yes.
dressed up. She goes to the show.
She's
She
wearing
wants to put her hair up.
the fringy dress.
There's not
Oh,
enough
it's a good
time to put
dress.
your hair
the
up.
dress. And she meets Crystal,
Yes.
who
Yes,
is being
because-
introduced. She's like just been hired, I think, as the new star of Goddess. Because
I
there's
guess
that
she
whole like
has,
press conference.
Right, because there's the
Yes.
press conferences. But that's not totally clear because it feels like she's been doing it for a while.
Well, she's certainly a famous person, but maybe they've like
Right.
poached her from another
Yeah,
casino
yeah.
or something like that.
Yeah.
But like, was this show running with someone who wasn't Crystal in this role, or is this whole show new?
I can't
I don't
remember. I
know,
think the
right.
whole
I have another question. Does
Yeah.
local news put up like reports about this kind of show? Is that a thing that happens in Las Vegas?
David,
I don't
huge
know.
press
Have you seen Gina
conference.
Gershon?
Yeah.
You don't want that on your I feel like this whole podcast is just me being like, so Gina Gershon.
Yeah. Well, welcome to our Bound episode.
I mean, I'm not against it.
I think in Vegas, possibly. And I think in Vegas in the 90s, more possible.
Because you cycle through residencies. Now we've got like Britney Spears and J-Lo doing residencies.
Well, no doubt about that. But it's more like, but then also the nude reviews. Is it like, hi, I'm Chip,
Sure.
Chip Smith. I don't know.
Hey, Chip.
Chip Smith is...
It's my new character.
I love it. So what's going on the sea, Chip?
Just this show where a bunch of topless women dance around a volcano for 20 minutes. It's got a new star.
We got to bring Chip Smith back for some ad reads. This guy's popping already.
He's famous for how he forgets his last name when he's introducing himself on camera.
Chip,
Hi, I'm Chip Smith.
His first name is much more interesting than the last name. There you go.
Oh my god. We have fun here on Blank Check.
I'm just
Griffin and
checking my
David.
phone. Chip. What's his last name again?
Smith.
Chip Smith is number 1 on the IMDb star meter. But on the star meter it says Chip. What's his last name again? Chip ellipses Smith ?
God. I love how if you went out to go to the bathroom, it would be for a bit where you come back as Chip Smith, but I just had to pee.
Hey, David, I've never done a bit on this.
No, that's true.
I've never done a bit.
Respect
So
his artistry.
Please, a little
I
respect.
don't have no respect.
Nothing but respect for me.
The almost star of Sharknado 3.
Yeah, could have been. Too big.
I'm trying to remember. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to remember the exact progression.
I know.
After
That's the problem with this movie.
Gina
though.
Gershon compliments her
Gina
nails.
Gershon.
Well, it's because Molly's
likes her
going
nails.
in to like fix some stuff in Gina Gershon's changing room or whatever. And
Oh,
Gina,
right.
and Gina
Gina
strips
Gershon
and
is
it's just
sitting
like,
there.
There's a bad nipple
nude
dress
for-
relationship.
Right, G-string,
Right.
yes.
She's giving nipple notes
Yes.
Yes.
to Molly, and then she notices the nails. They start talking. She goes, "What do you do?" "I'm a dancer. Wear cheetahs." "I don't know what you do."
But that's not dancing.
Right. "I don't know if you do it well, but that ain't dancing." And Berkeley goes from 1 to 5 million.
Yes, she does. She's like,
You don't know shit.
you don't know
Right.
shit.
Right.
Storms out. She
Different
storms.
places.
I mean, Elizabeth Berkley storms out of every single room
She
she's
does.
in this movie.
I swear to God, imagine her like going to the DMV or something.
Yeah. She almost plays this. She almost plays this performance like the beleaguered chief of police in a buddy cop movie.
You don't know shit.
Yeah. How many times have I told you? One more incident like
Man's
this.
on my ass.
Yeah.
So, but this is the
If this
thing.
blows up, your badges are on my desk.
She goes right to cheetahs from this,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Okay, wait. We're glossing over one of my favorite lines.
Please.
Oh, thank you. Everyone got very quiet for it.
The floor is yours.
Well, just I had
We
forgotten.
respect women on this podcast.
Oh, thank you so much.
This is a very this is the wokest of the podcast.
No,
I don't know if
come
you've
on. What's your
heard
favorite
that.
line? What's your
Well, see,
favorite
now
line?
there's a big buildup. I
Because the
just
thing
wanted
is,
to
there's
point
so many
out.
good lines in
Yeah.
this movie.
Well, yeah, I just wanted to point out that, she storms out and Gina's like still pretty intrigued or whatever. And she's like, your friend has nice nails. Maybe she can do mine sometime, which is the gayest line I've ever heard in any movie ever.
I'm nodding with sort of my whole
Yes,
upper
your
body.
whole body.
That's also an
which
example.
is exciting because I had kind of forgotten.
Right.
Kind of forgotten how thirsty she is for Nomi. Like the
Yeah,
whole
she
thing.
is.
Right. The whole
Sure.
thing is her just wanting to sleep with her, which I'd kind of forgotten. And then
Right.
that line happens and it's one of those things where you watched and you're like, okay, so that's like,
Yeah, it's also right.
but then it actually follows through. And
it's
that
what
never
you
is the
said
case.
about like subtext versus
never
text,
the
where it's like
case.
it's like all about Eve if
Yes, exactly.
there was a sexual dynamic,
Or like Top
that
Gun.
was even more.
if they fuck, you know?
Which
Who fucks?
they did, right?
Oh, you mean Tom and Val? But-
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Down to the
Yes.
brunette blonde in Top Gun too.
I actually like that in Call Me by Your Name. The first scene of their sort of romantic connection is at a volleyball game. Oh, that was a subtle homage to Top
cool.
Gun.
Oh yeah.
Spoilers.
Oh, you haven't seen it yet.
For the first scene of the movie.
No, it's like the sixth.
yeah.
I just like that so much of the dialogue between women in this film feels like so masturbatory about like,
it is.
Esther House like writing like penthouse letters.
Yes.
And then this is an example of like, God, gotta have them flirting with each other. What do women talk about?
And she's gonna be topless.
nails.
She's gonna be topless.
Yeah, they're topless talk about nails.
No
That's
one,
the one insight.
no
you
one
have.
That's like
ever-
the one line where I was like, that feels right.
Yeah.
no one
Yeah,
ever
it was like the
seems
one.
comfortable in this
It's
movie.
like monkeys at a typewriter and one of them
Yes.
comes up with Shakespeare.
I was like, yeah, complimenting her nails.
Yeah.
That would work.
Yeah.
All right, so she goes to a
Yes.
club and gets in a huge fight with Glenn Plummer and gets like kicked out by a bouncer. Again, another example of her just like being so aggro.
And kicks him in the nards.
Oh, wait,
Yeah.
it's not she does. It's like, wait, yeah. So she goes, they go dancing.
They go dancing. She gets in a fight with Glenn Plummer, who then bails her out of jail.
Yes.
Wait, but isn't that no? Doesn't she go to Cheetahs first because she goes to that club with the money she got from the Gershon lap
No,
dance?
that
No.
comes
Am I messing-
after.
Okay.
She skips
She
work.
won't go to
and
work
that's-
because she's too
she skips
pissed
work.
off.
Right.
And she goes to this club and she's doing her frantic dancing and everyone's like, wow, she can dance. And you're looking, and that's one of the few instances where like, you've been telling us that she's an amazing dancer and this is our first time seeing it.
yeah.
And this is what she's doing.
And objectively, she's doing a lot of dancing.
She's doing a lot of dancing. But this is the problem with like any single movie.
Tasmanian devil dancing, like spinning dancing.
I mean, the best move
She
she
passes
does.
out.
The best
Yeah.
the best move she does throughout this entire movie is the spin and the kick in the balls. It's the only one where I'm
Right.
like, yeah, that's a great move.
Her
but it's like
signature
she does like
is
a-
the hand.
the hands.
This sort of double
Right.
fingers down. How would you describe this?
It's like a reverse jazz hand. It's like a bring it on spirit finger.
Right.
Sure.
But
Everything, all of the dancing in this movie is like almost violent.
it's frenetic. It's
Yeah.
frantic.
Right, and it's very, very, very aggressive.
It's
And
like-
it's punctuated by this score. This is like bam, bam, bam,
I
bam,
would
bam,
describe
at
her
every
dancing
move.
style as
Bob Fosse, like
See, I would
Yes.
say a Street Fighter combo move.
yes, Mortal Kombat Bob Fosse.
Depending on where characters are in relation to her, any dance move of hers could be a finishing move, you know?
Yes.
And a couple times it is.
Am
to,
I-
to
yeah.
Plummer.
Yeah.
I don't know who like choreographed this movie. I assume it had
I forget.
choreographers.
Yeah,
you
it
know.
came up. It was one person.
I was going to say mine is it's fast forwarding the dance segments in a living color.
The Fly Girls.
Yeah.
1.5 speed.
Well, see, that makes it sound awesome.
Marguerite Derricks,
Okay.
who also, this is interesting, also choreographed Striptease, which is a movie that comes out the next
Wow,
year that
yeah.
has a similar reputation.
Where they were like, okay, we got really close with Showgirls. As long as it's R, we'll be fine.
and
If
then
it's R, everyone will go see it.
choreographed the Austin Powers movies, which have a lot
Really?
of similar dance moves. the
that's
sort of like
interesting, yeah.
hands in the face kind of stuff.
But that one's supposed like that's a comedy,
Right, it's a comedy.
And especially the opening dance number of International Man of Mystery is great.
No, that's the thing. Those
Yeah.
dance numbers are amazing, but
Yeah.
they are absurd.
Right.
The go-go dance scene. You know.
Fascinating.
So she found her spot.
And she
Yeah.
also
Comedic.
choreographed Donnie Darko. She choreographed Sparkle Motion.
Wow.
So, you
So
know.
she kind of
She's
just
good at the ironic, you know?
she knew
She
what
figured-
frame
yeah.
to put around herself.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay.
After
That's
Showgirls.
fascinating. Right.
Yeah, but this is the problem with saying that your character's amazing at anything. Like,
Also choreographed Tom Cruise in Tropic Thunder. Sorry.
oh
Okay.
no, that was
I
important.
finished.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
Carry on, sorry.
But there's like a thing here where anytime you watch Nomi dancing and everyone being like, you know
She's
what
got
you're
it.
doing,
She's
but just
got
like
it.
pull it back a little bit.
That's true. There is some of that.
That's also
She
how
prowls, but they're saying that it's too sexy.
Yeah.
That's always the note, and I'm like, I don't think that's the problem.
I think
Nothing
it's
in this movie is sexy.
I think it's
very little in this movie
Right?
is
Like
sexy.
I don't.
I
Like,
think it's just too
Certainly
much.
not too sexy.
right? It's too much. But they keep
Everything's
being like,
dialed
it's
up.
too much sex.
Right.
She prowls. She's like a,
Right.
you know,
It's not fucking, it's dancing.
it's pelvic thrusting.
right. But I feel like there's an overlap between that and watching Elizabeth Berkley give this performance where you want to keep on being like, oh God, you can act, but just please, like you're embarrassing yourself. Like we're in
Chill
public.
out.
Just
Yeah,
chill
but she was
out.
not getting told to pull it back.
Right, but you feel watching this
Right.
movie the way the people in the club do. Then she kicks him in the nuts.
She kicks him in that. So I
Or
just
rather,
wanna,
she dances
Because
him
he's
in
like,
the nuts.
I could teach
Yeah.
you. He's like, you've got potential, but I can teach you how to
Right.
dance.
And she knows from Creeps at this point. So she's
Yes.
like, I've heard that line before.
Yeah, he is giving her a line. We're like, what is like? You've got the best like pure dance.
oh yeah, that comes later.
energy
Yeah,
or
you've
whatever.
got like the most natural talent.
natural, right?
Kicking the
I've ever
nards
seen.
and causes an entire fight to break out in the entire club.
Yes.
Gets arrested.
And the best, I think actually one of Berkeley's best moments is when she's watching everyone beat each other up and she just smiles this little like, that's for me.
Yeah.
And just walks away. And that's an amazing moment.
Goes to jail, spends a night in the drunk tank.
James, who is played by Glenn Plummer, bails her out. She ignores him.
Yeah.
I just want to talk about James
Sure.
and her relationship with him in this movie.
Sure.
Completely confusing.
Which is extremely confusing, and to me is also a very bold underline of the whole "she's gay" and this movie is about a female relationship, because the two men in her life, one is Kyle Maclachlan, which that relationship seems all about power,
And
you
their
know,
first sexy moment is about Gina Gershon having vicarious sex with her.
correct. And then the
Through this
second
lap
one,
dance.
the swimming pool sex scene is this sort of like athletic display, like it's
You wanna-
very little
that's
eroticism.
a word.
Right.
Whereas James is, I guess, being positioned as kind of like
Well, he's the guy who knows real dance.
Right,
Like,
the guy-
he sees the real dancer in
and
her.
who sees the real her, right? And he's
Which he
supposed
doesn't, though.
No!
So that's
But the movie can't seem to decide whether or not he does.
I
Right.
think Paul Verhoeven's like, this guy is full of shit. But the script is more like, well, he's kind of like the guy on the bottom rung that she's going to climb over on her way to the top, right?
Sometimes
Like,
well, yeah,
the
because
movie-
eventually when he's like, I have this routine and I want you to be the star of it, when they actually do their, like, when he tries to do the reenactment, it's extremely sexual.
Yeah.
yes.
It's the same thing.
And also, he's an asshole.
Also, he's an asshole.
And another thing, how do you write a dance? What do you do? Kick. Number 1, punch. 2,
David's
spin
headphones are
around.
fully
3.
off.
Is that how you write a dance?
A, B, up, down, select.
Our finest film critic, folks.
Our finest film critic.
It's like one of those maps with the feet,
Yeah,
Yes,
I don't.
yes.
I just couldn't get past that.
the little dots.
But I do think sometimes this movie is trying to argue that he's an asshole and he's abusing her and he actually believes in her talent and
Yes.
he's a good dancer.
He's a lot of things all at once.
and then sometimes it's only one or the other.
well, that's because at the point where Kyle MacLachlan has to become the asshole, he's not.
Right,
But he's also like, oh, I got this girl pregnant and now I have to marry her.
right,
So he still sucks.
right. Well,
I guess we're jumping all ahead.
Let's call it what it is. Pussy is his problem, as he so eloquently says.
Always has been.
Always has been.
He has
Always
a lot
gonna.
of lines.
Just rolls trippingly off the tongue.
Everyone's
That
got AIDS and
Esther House
shit.
line.
Everyone's got AIDS.
Everyone's got
Everyone-
AIDS. I mean, everyone
Top
got
quote on
AIDS and
IMDb.
shit.
Yeah.
I have a problem with pussy. I always have, and I'm
Jesus
always gonna.
Christ. Yeah.
And then
It must
you know,
be weird not having people come on you.
his most famous line, in my opinion, you fuck him without fucking him. That's what you do. Well, it ain't right.
Yeah.
It ain't right. And then his dance is the same thing.
Yes.
So there's James. So, I mean, we just kind of like, I just wanted to acknowledge James because we probably won't talk about him again
I would
because
like
he
to not.
plays no real purpose in the movie. But there is that scene where then she goes and knocks on his door and a fully nude woman is walking
It's
out
Penny.
of his
It's
bed.
Penny.
It's Penny. Well, because she's in his show,
Come
right?
straight from heaven. Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's mad at him. And I'm like, what are you mad
Yeah,
at him
all of a
about
sudden they were
exactly?
dating and she's like, oh, she's going to be in your show.
there's
Your
the
whole
scene-
relationship was that she assaulted him and
Yes.
was put in jail and he bailed her out. Like,
She
that's
even
their
makes that
whole
joke.
dynamic.
When
Yeah.
Molly picks her up in the car and like, who's he? And it's like, I kicked him in the nuts. I guess he liked it.
That was actually really funny.
That's a terrific
yeah,
line.
5 comedy points.
Look, it's a great line.
It's a great line. But then they like have their dance rehearsal, like which ends up just being a lap dance, which turns into them making out, which is aborted when she says that she's on her period, but he's still
Right.
into it.
But
Yeah,
I
they do
kind
this
of
lap
respect that
dance
he's like,
where-
I don't know, I got towels, whatever.
Yeah.
yeah, go for it, man.
He's a
Who
little
gives a
woke.
shit?
He's momentarily woke.
Momentarily.
He's momentarily woke, and then she like now has this like power where she's like,
Right, she's like, played that
Is
exactly
it woke
right.
to have period sex?
Sadly, I think so.
That's insane. Sorry, I don't. We shouldn't. We shouldn't go down that road.
we shouldn't go down this alleyway.
I just like who fucking cares? As long as everyone's happy and happy and warm.
Happy and warm. I mean, wait,
That scene is
no
really,
disrespect to the citizens of Antarctica. What are you saying? They
point.
can't have sex?
That scene is really bizarre because
It is. You mean
it's
the-
like
The rehearsal?
yes,
The fake
that-
rehearsal where like
right.
they both know all the moves immediately?
right, and her
Yeah.
boobs kind of are out of her shirt,
He
but she's
pulls
still in
them
her right.
Yeah.
No, he pulls her shirt down.
Yes,
Yeah, that's
right,
what I mean, yeah.
Yeah. They don't just
And then-
spontaneously decide to
and then
come
while
out.
I mean,
they
that
are-
happens in this movie.
They're
so-
in this
Yes,
sort of
that's true.
True.
Yeah.
Well, some people have little remote controls to.
I mean,
Ejector dresses.
that's an incredible dress.
yeah.
And then they're sort of in this mid-grind
Yeah.
position, and they freeze, and that's when they have the period conversation,
Yes.
right?
Where
Yes.
he's like, I don't believe you. And she's like, check.
But then she ends
Which
it,
I think is a great
A
response.
power move.
right, and then she ends it on this note of you don't get to fuck me until you love me. And he's like, I love you now, and she's like, no, you don't. So you're like, okay, this is where this plot line's
Right.
going.
And then instead, she's really mad that he's sleeping with Penny, and you're like, why are you?
Yeah.
I when I was 13,
You knew he was a creep.
I think what I like when I was 13 when I watched that scene, I was like, is this how adults behave around each
Right.
other?
Oh,
I'm on my
no.
period. I don't believe you. Check. Like I'm like, is this what we're gonna have to do when I'm growing up?
There are a lot of elements.
Is this
Oh, no.
aggressive?
There are a lot of elements
Oh, poor
to this
dude.
I figured it
movie
out.
and how it depicts sex, both from a writing standpoint and a directing standpoint. It feels like the movie's made by a 5-year-old who's just heard rumors about sex.
It's two Barbie dolls
Yes.
mashing up
Right.
against
Well,
each other.
It's a very Barbie doll movie.
Yes.
That's what I kept saying to
Just like-
Joanna. Because Elizabeth Berkley is an odd-looking person in a lot of ways. She's got these giant eyes.
Yes.
They're two different colors.
Right.
which is sort of like mesmerizing.
That's right. Yes.
She's got one
like
brown
half an
eye
hour
and
in,
one green
I was like
eye.
trying to figure that out.
And she's pretty skinny.
She's got big mouth.
And she's got these big teeth. She's got this like big toothy
And they
smile.
overlined her lips
And
to make it look even bigger.
That's what I was getting to. They have put so much makeup on her face.
Her face is always 3 shades paler than the rest of her body.
Yes!
Yes.
And it makes her look fucking crazy.
I mean, that's,
looks like
that's
a
very
ghoul.
90s.
Yes.
It is.
It's unfortunate, but that's what it was.
I'm not
Also,
even
her
really
hair is not
criticizing it
awesome.
because she's striking. Like,
She's
for
very
sure.
striking. And I mean, I think that works in this movie's favor
yes.
in a way where it's like people can't stop looking at her because there's just a lot to look at.
There's just it's like, so even when she is stationary and not moving her face and not moving her body, you're still kind of like, wow, she's really like,
And she's
dialed
tall.
up right
She's,
now.
she's also really tall.
Yeah.
Very tall.
Yeah.
Very tall actress.
And she also is achingly vulnerable. Like she is such
Even
an
when
open
she's like
emotional
playing
wound.
really
Yeah.
tough with her knives.
Right. So you kind of can't stop staring at her because you're just like, what the
It's like
fuck's
she's always
going
like
on?
Anyway.
she's got tremors a
She's
little
got
bit.
tremors.
Yeah, so we should jump back into the plot, though, right? So we left off with her leaving jail and going to Cheetahs for the first
yeah,
time.
that's right. We're 20 minutes into the movie. What, are you worried about something? Is there an issue?
I'm trying to keep us on track.
Okay, so but we should get the next big
Ben
scene
has
is
a
the lap
doctor's
dance.
appointment 3 days from now. He's worrying he's not going to make it in time.
The next big scene is the lap dance scene.
Yes. Right.
Yes.
And-
oh boy. Yeah. So she gets to the. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go
You're a
ahead.
plot person.
Right, she's at Cheetah's and Crystal and Zach arrive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they're there. They're at like a VIP sort of table situation.
Right, and they demand a private dance.
Well,
together.
after she does a routine,
She does a routine.
outrageous.
she
That's
does a
true.
very pointed pole dance.
Yeah, she licks the
She
pole.
licks the pole, which I
Which-
think is one of the most infamous shots of that because like my whole body was like, do not lick that pole.
And she beats Ryu handily. She beats Ryu.
And like, yeah, she does a spinning leg kick. No, the other thing is like, I would accept her licking the pole if the second she left the stage, we saw a team come in, sanitize the pole.
just chugs a whole handle
some-
of like antiseptic vodka.
Right, a couple guys come in and they're just sort of like, all right.
Yeah.
Instead, no, 2 naked women immediately walk onto stage. Like, it's not like that pole has been places.
No,
today.
and it's different
Correct.
places, and she doesn't
Correct.
respect that pole.
different places.
different places. Some might
Yes.
say.
So they want a private dance.
she sees them. She doesn't want any peace.
She doesn't want any peace. She's mad at Crystal for disrespecting
Furious.
her dancing.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Which she's not, and I'll be. She's not a good stripper. I'm
No.
gonna say that she's not good at it. There are
No,
strippers
me?
who are incredible, and she sucks.
I mean, it's her serving routine is similar to a dancing routine, which is that rhythmic sort of like she's sort of like a
Chopping
mine
the
trapped in
air.
a box
She's
where she's
chopping.
kind of
Yeah.
banging off
Yeah.
the walls a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of
Yeah.
chopping. Chop heavy.
She tazzes out. And
Yeah,
then,
so she could be better, but
She does do
she
this
doesn't
sort of
do it.
upside down slide thing.
She does a little bit of an upside down slide thing.
I guess she does a couple of things where you're more like, right.
she has
that's
a
what
bra under her bra.
Sure.
I kept on wondering, watching this, like how much fucking physical training.
I mean,
It
she
must have
did
been
a lot.
incredibly
This
complicated
is
to shoot
like
all this.
as-
She talked about that too
Yeah.
when she went on the Dancing with the Stars season, and she was
Yeah.
like, she stopped dancing after this movie, which is really sad because she was like, she apparently was really,
Horrified by
she was
how
really
she
a
looked
big
in the movie or something.
No. She was like, she would love dancing, and
Yeah.
she just,
Right.
and the movie
bummer.
broke her heart so hard she stopped
More so than like
dancing. But
any
she was like,
action
now,
movie.
and she's right on
Yes.
this count that she was like, now people take pole dance
Yes,
classes.
of course.
Like
sure, of course.
it's a totally
Yeah,
different.
It's become
Right.
much more of like
It's an
it's
yeah.
appreciated for its athleticism.
Totally
and
different,
It's, yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, so
I've used that word a lot.
But this
She
is
could-
like a
she did a
crazy
lot of training
Jean-Claude
for it.
Van Damme level of like
She-
physical dexterity
Yeah,
and
this
endurance.
was not an
and all
easy
of that.
part. Like,
No.
So they have the private dance, which, as you say, is this sort of vicarious sex scene.
Yes,
It is her first fully nude scene
It's also
in the film.
all in one room.
Yes, it's in like the
It should
champagne
be-
room or whatever.
Okay, yeah,
Because there are other dances going on in the
yes,
background.
Yes.
and it
Yes.
also like has the doorway in is not a door, and it's like the guy.
The little beads or whatever.
yeah. That
Right.
choreographer comes and is like trying to get a free show sort of thing.
Right.
But yeah, so she's like, oh yeah, they're like, they say that Gina wants a lap dance for both of them. Sorry, Crystal.
Can't
And
do
they
it.
were like,
She's trying to find a way out of it. And
Right,
Robert
right, yeah,
Davi
no,
is-
one
she's
was
like,
only
we don't do
one-on-one.
women. We don't do women.
Right.
Only
yeah,
one on
only
one.
boys and girls. It's
She's
very
like, fine.
heteronormative in there.
But Robert Davi's in like Mr. Krabs mode, and he hears money being turned down, and
Because she keeps
immediately like
calling the bluff, and
Right.
she finally gets to $500.
Which I gotta say seems low.
Yeah.
I think like,
she could have pushed that a lot
2017
further.
money.
Right, she
it's
offers
a lot
100
more
in the
than-
first place, and
Yes.
Nomi was right to be like, "Fuck you."
Yeah.
Well, like I don't know anything about going to a strip club, and I'm not trying to.
Humble brag.
I just don't. But even my like CSI watching sort of like level of knowledge,
Sure.
I'm like, it's definitely more than $100 to get a
Well,
private
I mean,
show,
I think they're
right?
trying to like paint this strip club as like one of the
It's
seedier
pretty
ones.
trashy.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah.
So I think that's probably about what she usually gets. But then, she's Crystal Connors and she could definitely, like, if she wants to be like super impressive, just be like a grand.
That's also the thing. Like high roller people like that
Yeah.
always want to overpay.
That's the whole point.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Performatively.
Yes.
To flaunt their weight. So like,
And I love that she's the one doing it and not her flop boyfriend.
yes.
I kind of love that.
His hair is
His
so
hair is
fucking
so-
flopsy in this movie.
It's fully over one eye, like a Ryder Strong Boy Meets World flop.
I was gonna say it's like that villain from Captain Planet where you never saw the one half of her face.
Yeah.
And then sometimes when it flipped up, she had like acid scarring. Do you remember that? He's doing that. This is kind of a stealth Captain Planet movie.
So, yeah, totally. So
Elizabeth Barkley is Heart.
shut up.
Gina Gershon
So
is
this is
Fire.
as Caroline posited, this is a kind of a love scene between Nomi and Crystal.
Because they're locking eyes.
It's
They're
the only
yes.
love scene that the two have together.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Which is
because
sort of annoying.
She's like, so Crystal sits like on the other side of the
Yes,
room
and
on
she-
a table. She's like, I'm not going to touch you, but the eye contact is very intense.
Right, and she grinds on Kyle MacLachlan, Zach,
Yeah.
who you might not be able to tell is kind of a creep. He's got this hair that's like perfectly. He's like the UK soul singer Gabrielle.
Huh, if I had to
That's
come up
a-
with an example, I'd almost say that villain from Captain Planet. I would almost do
No, I'm going to show you
a
Gabrielle.
2-minute chunk on this
I'm
if
gonna
I
show
had to
you-
come up with a way to
I'm
describe
going to
his
show
hair.
you Gabrielle.
Okay, cool.
Okay, yeah.
You do that. I'm going to
know,
Google that villain from Captain
What's his
Planet.
name? That villain from Batman.
It's a female.
It makes me think, though, his look, it's sort of like, remember when Garth Brooks had an alternative sort of personality?
Oh yeah,
Gaines?
Chris Gaines. Yes.
Okay, yeah, it's kind of like Chris Gaines kind
And
of.
he hosted SNL.
he's got
and
like the hair that kind of comes down on one side of his face.
Yes.
A Pete
Yeah.
Wentz.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
almost like a Pete Wentz.
Yeah.
Oh, God, there's
That's
the Captain
Maclachlan.
Planet villain.
So
I'm
it's
trying
kind
to
of
think
like-
what her name is.
up. I was trying to get you off those rails.
Dr. Blight.
Dr. Blight.
Oh yeah.
Dr.
I mean,
Blight.
sure. You know, look. In history, there have been people who had their hair over one of their eyes.
But then she's got creepy face underneath.
Right. Well, I believe
Ooh.
Gabrielle also had some sort of like eye condition, which is why she developed.
Right.
the,
But Kyle has no excuse. Zach has no excuse.
Zach has no excuse. Anyway, she grinds on him till he jizzes in his pants.
Right.
And,
David,
you know, the
David.
Oscars give it a Best Picture or whatever. Like,
David.
and that's the moment. No,
I just
sorry,
think-
Caroline. Go ahead.
No, I grinds against him is such a mild way of describing what happens. in
She
this
is
scene.
fully nude.
She's well, yeah. So
He
first
is
she gets
fully clothed.
You're right. She gets fully nude. She can touch him. He can't touch her.
Right.
Those are the rules.
Those are the rules.
But it's very aggressive dry humping.
Yes.
And when she's not locking eyes with Crystal, she is fully. I mean, dry humping is even too mild. It's like
yeah.
really
Yeah.
aggressive, like a fish is dying flopping.
That's her move. Look. I mean, yes.
Struggling
This sort
for
of-
yeah.
Right. Dolphin,
Yes.
beached dolphin
But
kind
also
of.
moving at like a Usain Bolt speed. Like I don't understand
Yeah.
how fast her muscles work in this.
I mean,
How did she
that's
do this
impressive.
shit? It is impressive.
But I just
Yeah.
feel like I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like that would just hurt.
I think
a
it
lot.
would hurt
I think it would hurt everyone involved.
in every
Right.
sense of the word.
There would
hurt.
definitely be some kind of like rug burn,
100%.
you know, because he's wearing like slacks or
yeah.
whatever.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah. But
yeah.
I just don't understand how he even gets off in that situation. I guess there's friction.
Well,
there's
but
a
also,
lot of friction.
and then there is this weird triangle dynamic that's going on, right? Where like Crystal's sort of involved, and she's watching,
And, like Zach knows what's happening.
Right.
Like he's
He
not,
does,
He's
because
not new to his
they have this
girlfriend.
rivalry.
Yes.
And Zach, to be clear, is the artistic director or
The
whatever,
entertainment
director of Goddess.
Sure.
So then Nomi
is a
gets to
meaningless,
audition
that's
after
like-
this, gets to audition for Goddess.
Because Crystal goes in and goes, "Hey, I saw this great audition yesterday. I got a reel."
Now, and then my favorite scene in the film happens.
Really, your favorite
Tony
scene
Moss, who is now my new favorite character in the movie.
Okay. The one good performance now.
Alan Rackins, I think is his name. He
You
was in
mean
LA
the-
Law.
He's the guy who
He's Tony Moss.
I've already forgotten.
He's the gross guy who does the lineup.
Oh,
and-
the lineup.
I'm Tony Moss. I produced this show.
Oh.
Some of you may have probably heard that I'm a prick. I texted it to Ben. Go on, Ben. You want to do it?
All right. Hey, I'm Tony Moss. I produced this show. Some of you have probably heard that I'm a prick, and I am a prick. I got one interest here, and that's the show. I don't care whether you live or die. I want to see you dance, and I want to see you smile. I can't use you if you can't smile, and I can't use you if you can't show. I can't use you if you can't sell.
It's a cold read.
Hey, to jump to, I don't care if you live or die on sentence 2, 3.
Yeah, that's
suddenly
where you
the
end.
stakes are insane.
I know. He's like, I'm a prick. I don't care if you live or die. I'd love it if you smile.
This is an audition. What are you talking about? Die.
Can you spell MGM backwards? I bet you can't.
Right.
Say it.
MGM.
I'm impressed.
Okay. And then
It's Vegas, baby.
I think that line is hilarious.
I
I think
do
pretty
too.
much every line is really, really funny.
And then there's the thing about the lady who had her nose fixed because that was the note.
Right,
but
right.
Now
Now
the
it's your
ears.
Thanks, Tony. Yeah, it looks a lot better. Yeah,
It's
your ears
always
are sticking out.
something.
Right.
Yeah.
He lines the girls up.
Hey,
He
tennis
also,
ball, you better have a good wig collection, right? Doesn't he say
It's a
that?
good line.
Yeah.
He also he's Dharma's father on Dharma and Greg.
Oh my
wow.
God.
He's like a 2-time like Emmy winner. He was like in LA Law for a zillion years.
Okay.
He's just like a famous kind of like hard ass, or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
Except I think in Dharma and Greg, he's like a hippie, right?
Well, if he's
Uh,
Greg's dad.
No, he's Dharma's
He's
dad.
Dharma's?
Oh, then yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this is the ice scene.
This is the ice.
Yes,
And this is
the
like-
ice. They do the ice bucket challenge.
But this is like Verhoeven, like this is the
Yes.
casting process in Hollywood. You line these women up and you just like assail them with like verbally.
Dismantle.
Right.
You dismiss them for any imperfection.
Yes.
And then he's like, all right, we're down to the 3 of you. Show me your tits. And
Right.
they're like, here are our tits. And he's like,
He's like, yeah, I mean, it's a topless show. You gotta.
do we need to get the ice bucket? Like it's like he finds a new level to go down every time.
Even the beneficiaries of the system are degraded and mocked. Like, just for sport.
Right.
It's a fucking blood sport.
And like,
He doesn't
that's
care if you live or
probably
die.
not far off.
No.
Like, I
I
believe this
You think in
completely.
show business there's some of this? I don't. There's no evidence to back that up. I hate the fucking world.
I was gonna say when you first introduced me, you're like, I was wondering if you're gonna be like, what do you write about? And I'd be like, sexual assault.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I used to write about like movies and TV that I liked, and then there was some sort of subtle shift 6 months
I
ago.
wrote a TV
where
review this week. It took me like 2 days because I was like, I forget how to do this.
Oh boy.
It was so powerful and so depressing, but when the Weinstein story was like unfolding and your tweets about having to update your article
Yeah.
to raise the numbers or add names,
Well, I'll tell you a fun journalism.
please. But that was just like, Jesus.
It's so
fucking
yeah. We made
Christ.
the mistake of being like, we should have a list of all the people who have accused him of something
And try to be complete and
Sure.
comprehensive.
But
But
I think-
certainly there will be an end at some point, right?
Yeah, I don't even know how many there are now. I want to say it's like at 90 or something
Yeah,
crazy.
he's getting into Cosby zone.
He's past it.
He's past it. Well, how many did Cosby have?
50,
Like it was more like 50.
60?
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
it's
fucking
all insane. It's like,
Throwback, like when the LA Times published
I mean,
their
no, it's like
thing, and then a
hundreds.
day later he said we've had 220
Right, yeah, but the only times were like we have
women.
120, and then like the next
It was
day
nuts.
they got
but it's like we have learned in this, and actually it was funny because not funny, but one of the politics writers who had been writing about the Trump stuff after the tape and the people coming forward, she was like, we learned you don't put a number in the headline because you're
Yeah.
gonna change it.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like it's just gonna change.
Yeah.
So we never put
Bleakly
numbers in the
funny,
headline.
let's say.
Yes. But she was right. We've never put a number in the headline since because
Right.
it always changes.
But this movie, I mean, this movie weirdly has more power now than it ever has. You know? 'Cause
That's a
it's
take.
like
I know what you're saying.
I feel like this is one movie that like fully stares into the eye of Sauron that is like the fucking systemic like abuse.
I mean, it's like every man in this is really awful.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, shall I quote?
Like there's a reason why I think like, I think part of this movie is like she is so all over the place because she has been trashed again and again by terrible men. It does
We're
not.
seeing one sliver of her life, and
Right.
every other sliver is also going to be like this, or has been like this. But also that this movie is entirely based around this like Faustian bargain of like, well, you're going to have to sell it sooner or later. That is perpetuated by the men in power choosing to all live up
Shall
to that,
I quote
regardless of what level you're at.
Jacques Rivette, the famous French director.
Thank you.
of
I was gonna pull this one up.
And Selena
I was
Angelica
going to pull this.
Boding,
Do you know this
Blyden-
quote?
No, I
who's
don't.
a
Ready.
famous contributor and
I'm
editor
ready.
at,
Get fucking ready.
Creative
Okay.
Cinema, who said it is one of the great American films. Very unpleasant. It is about surviving in a world populated with assholes, and that's Verhoeven's philosophy.
I believe at one point, he's dead now, right? This was close
He
to his
is
death.
dead,
After that
yes.
initial quote, I think he said it was the best American film the last 10, 15
Something
years.
like that. Quentin Tarantino said that is the only time in his life that he can remember Hollywood like giving a full budget to an exploitation movie. Essentially, was his kind of take on it.
Okay.
Like,
But I do agree with the Brevette thing. Like, you question how much of it's intentional. You know, you question how much.
but
of
it
it's
is Paul
done.
Verhoeven,
Right.
which sort of helps you. But yes, go on.
But
sorry.
I do find this movie to be like this like horrible parable that's actually pretty spot on. Not in terms of like
Right, I
reflecting
mean-
realistic human behavior, but representing like the ecosystem.
I mean, the problem is that, just thinking about it now, is that it's pretty spot on about these men and how they work and what they do, because I think the people, like, you know, it was written, directed by men who probably know those guys. But it's all over the fucking place with her because they don't understand her.
Right. That's
Yeah.
the issue.
So if, like, the problem is that it could have been that if she were a character, but she's not.
I agree with that. I
you're
agree with
right.
that. Here's one additional thing I would like to say.
Please.
That does not contradict that at all.
Thank
but
you.
is another thing I
Don't
think this
contradict
movie
me ever.
I never will. Ever.
White cheddar bagel twist.
It's a really good snack.
He's eaten a half of it
Because
to
it's
be-
louder than they baked it well today, and it's making a lot of crunch.
They
well
baked it
baked.
well down at Dunkin' today.
They did. They did a good bake.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, the thing I was going to say, the other thing I think this movie does get very right is the question I've had people who are totally outside of this industry ask me for the last couple months as this whole story has been developing of just like, but how does this fucking happen? How does this get so bad? Why do all these women agree to meet up with these men? How do these people stay on if they're in these positions of power? And the thing is, the thing that these guys do, and I think Showgirls represents that really well, whatever ecosystem you're in, right? Whatever industry you're in, whatever scene you're in, whatever city, whatever theater you're in, that, whatever, they set up this sort of company line that there just is a price you have to pay to enter the door.
Yeah.
You know?
You're just
Like,
going to have to take some bullshit.
you might have to draw a line somewhere, but you have to know that you're going to get it in one way or another.
Right.
Whether it's degradation, whether it's like, you know, a
Yeah.
killing of your
No,
spirit.
yeah, I mean, it's baked into the expectations of, like, if you want to be a star, then this is what you do. Like, that's it.
and this movie even presents
And if you don't want to be a star, that's fine. Then you walk away and
it's
we'll leave you
essentially
alone.
from the moment she gets into the van with Blake Shelton, it's like, if you even want to get to the city to have the chance to break into the industry,
You got to get through a creep.
right? Like, everything's a fucking risk.
Yes.
Everything's a game of Russian roulette,
Right.
which is the climate that, like, the fucking entertainment industry has existed in forever.
Right.
Where it's just like, well, I just hope that I, like, am able to, like, sneak through.
Yeah, and that's why, like, at this point, it's cool that people are getting fired, but you can't just
God.
fire a few people and hope,
No.
like, 'cause it's like all the people who are getting fired right now are at the top, which is fascinating,
Yes.
and good, and
Right.
will set precedents and so
Yes,
on.
yes.
But the
100%.
problem is that there are people who have been learning from them the whole time,
Sure.
who are at all levels of the
And
thing.
who are
Anything
also-
I've seen is not like a Matt Lauer; it's like someone like way lower,
And
but
totally
who learned
unknown.
from that.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that
right?
makes sense.
Like people who are not known.
Well, you're like,
It's
No,
why
of
does
course
that
not.
person have power?
But it's just because that's
Yeah.
the way the system is. So it's, I mean, it's going to be, I think this is good, but like, I don't know, by the time this comes out, I don't know where we are.
yeah.
well, hopefully there's
Sarah
just
Huckabee Sanders,
no men.
President
This week was
Sanders
Lauer.
will
That's why I
hopefully-
used that,
right. Yes.
that
yes.
example. Who knows who just came out?
Right.
Yeah, at this point, Matt Lauer has
like-
already been like
Right.
sent into the Phantom Zone.
Shrek
Like God
has
knows
already
what's
been
happening.
outed by that point. The systemic abuse of Shrek.
So,
Yeah.
What was that?
Oh, I have Skittles and I'm just getting blue ones. Do you
Oh,
like
Skittles.
blue?
Sure, give me blue ones.
Okay, great.
What flavor Skittles are these though? They're purple ones.
These are berry. These are berry Skittles.
I really appreciate you taking that turn. We needed a way to get out of this pothole.
Well, because we
Skittles
could.
was the right
Okay,
way.
so
We
we've
could
been
talk
going
about
for
this
90
forever.
minutes and we're
Yeah.
like 20 minutes into the movie still.
Okay.
So
I mean, the good news is there's really not much plot.
this is the thing.
Yeah.
She gets the job, obviously.
Yeah.
And there's like, again, like I don't know what Verhoeven was talking about MGM musicals because there are like 3 numbers in this movie, but it's not like
Yes.
they're the centerpiece of the movie at any.
No,
at any
we
point.
see the volcano one like 4 times.
Yeah.
And at some point, like
Yeah.
I think there's one move that's like a She-Hulk sort of thing, and I just every time it came back, I lost it. I was like, I don't know what this is.
And if he really wanted to make an MGM musical, he very easily could have had singing in this film.
Sure.
You know, like he pointedly didn't do that.
That's Burlesque's move.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
Is that
the
she's a
Burlesque
singer.
tries to sprinkle in there. Right.
Yes. Yeah, so then there's the volcano number, and then there's like a dystopian motorcycle gang rape number.
Right.
That's what that is.
Yes.
Oh, you set up.
David's face. He's so uncomfortable.
You've
No,
set
I'm not
up-
uncomfortable. It's just, it's depressing.
Yes. You've
Yes.
set up the infighting with some of the other dancers.
Oh, yeah,
you
there's
brought
2
your
dancers who are at
kids
each other's
this
throats
time.
the whole
Right.
time.
There's that one dancer who is always mad.
There's an angry
Yeah.
black dancer.
She
Yes.
is very angry.
Very angry.
She's like, if Nomi, she makes Nomi look like the chillest person in
Yeah.
the world.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's
She
a,
makes Nomi look like the queen of vaporwave.
Okay.
I did that for Ben. Ben, I just know you're having a tough episode. I wanted to give you something.
I appreciate
Ben, you
that.
like this movie though, right? You were into it.
He did
We
like
talked
this
about it
movie.
for a
I don't like
while.
this movie. No.
And
Don't tell-
Molly
don't
liked
say
it,
that.
right? Didn't Molly? You were telling me Molly
Molly
dug it?
liked it, but I didn't like it.
There's a whole scene with Jack McGee and a bunch of monkeys.
Oh, yeah. An
yeah.
early brunette Jack McGee.
Yeah, Jack McGee looking good. Like he's not a hair under 55. I love Jack McGee. That man is incredible. That man is like a piece of coal.
I would
See, I don't know him, but just hearing his name, I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. That David would
I
love
would-
Jack
I'll show you
McGee.
him.
He is like
His
the
best
ball
role-
buster in The Fighter.
Yes, his best
right?
role is in
Yeah.
The Fighter, where
He's
he
in
plays the
Moneyball,
4'10
too.
man
Yeah.
that is married to Melissa Leo. And Melissa
Right.
Leo just sort of like chips off another piece of his soul every day.
I would pay such good money to see Jack McGee's kindergarten class photo.
Here it is, right here for it.
See him look exactly the
Oh,
same.
I can see it. He has like a yo-yo.
He was
that
on.
with a whirly gig.
He was on
Yes.
Rescue Me for many years.
He's a great grump. He's a
an
top
all-time
shelf
grump who I believe was born at
And
the
in
age
this
of
one, he has
45.
like a brigade of monkeys.
Yeah, there's a whole scene with monkeys where you're kind of like,
What is this?
if I was looking to maybe shave
Are
a
they-
few minutes, this is what
Are
I
they
might.
in the same show?
I think they're in an attached show because I think the
Okay.
show is kind of
Yeah.
like
Because I don't
you
see
sit
where they
down and
fit
there's
into
like,
the like topless motorcycle
but
review.
that's the thing. It's like there's a review, so it's like some monkey shit or like elephants. Like there's an animal act, and then
Yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah.
like.
There's some monkey shit, also some monkey
Oh
shit.
yes, there is.
Oh,
You know,
there's
there's
just a
probably
bunch
like
of bullshit that people can do in between
you're eating a
gambling.
steak dinner,
Yeah.
right? Exactly, with your date or whatever, and then
Sure.
like there's Showgirls, and then there's like I don't know, like some vaudeville maybe or like a
Yeah.
comedian. Like I don't know.
Also, most of these big casino resorts have several theaters.
Yes.
So, like, within each theater, there's your own review.
How you doing?
Oh, I was just checking my notes.
Oh, good.
Are we
The
doing
good
well
news-
so far?
Oh no, I stopped taking notes halfway through the movie, and we're still in my notes.
Cool. Oh, Jesus.
Um,
It's a 5-parter, Ben. I'm sorry. It's a 5-parter.
Oh, God damn it.
so then there's the boat trade show because this is where like
Yeah.
nobody
Oh, yeah.
kind of turns on Crystal.
Well, it's like Crystal volunteers her for this boat trade show, and Molly's like, "Don't do it. Don't
Right.
do it."
Which I feel like even at this point in mainstream culture, boat trade show was known as a like no good, very bad, don't do it. Like that's
Right, but she
been,
gets
like-
offered $1,000, which is twice what Crystal
Right.
paid for her.
Right.
Yes.
Yes, which
Cheapskate.
It's insane. Yeah, but she goes to the boat show and somehow has no idea what's about to happen.
Wow,
Sure.
blame her. Why don't you?
Wow.
Wow,
I'm not blaming her.
wow.
I mean, to be fair, Nomi rarely seems to have much idea of what's about to
No,
happen
she really
in any
doesn't.
given
No,
moment.
but also like you're right. I mean, like having her best friend be like, "I've been here a while.
Yeah, yeah,
it doesn't go
do
well.
not
yeah,
do this.
don't
And
do
she's
this."
like, shut up.
Yeah.
Right.
Different places.
Yeah, she goes to the boat show. She gets propositioned by who is he? He's like one of the backers of the show.
Right.
Who was at the earlier strip club, right?
Sure.
Yeah, like
Yes,
scoping out town.
yes,
Maybe he's like a
that
town
guy.
scout or something.
Right. Who hey, can I touch you or whatever?
and he's like
right.
there with like a guy from Beijing.
Right, right. He's got the businessmen in from out of town.
Right.
He wants to show him a good time.
Right.
To show him a good time, why don't you put on a Safdie brother film? You know what I'm saying? If you want to show an out of town businessman a good time, maybe show him a Safdie brother film. Maybe show them Heaven Knows What, or
Caroline is just looking at Griffin with disdain.
maybe show him
I just want him to keep going.
Daddy Long Legs. Maybe.
White cheddar bagel twist.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. I've made so many mistakes in my life.
Just like that I
I've
started
made
giving
so
him
many mistakes.
All right, so we're back at the theater.
My point is
She
that
complains.
after the boat show, it's like
turns.
she's like, I will now destroy Crystal.
Yeah.
right, but then
It's
she's
this
like,
very sudden turn.
and they do the show again. She's glaring at Crystal during the show, and then she like does something a little wrong, and someone's like, "Oh, we're gonna like." Is this when they set her up to be like, "Oh, you have to come back in at noon tomorrow to work on this turn"?
They definitely need her to work on a turn
Yes.
or something.
Has the monkey
She's
shit already
all-
happened at this
She's
point?
all
I don't
pelvic
know.
thrust.
All the backstage stuff kind of blends together.
But
Yes.
basically, this is when she seduces Kyle Maclachlan.
Yeah.
well, like
was
that's
that
what
before Crystal
remember. He
takes her on like basically a date?
It's
I think it's.
after, isn't it?
I don't remember.
Because
I thought she came back from the boat show. She's upset. She
Yeah.
talks to Kyle MacLachlan.
Oh yeah, and he's
Remember-
like, oh, it's right, and he's like, oh, that's actually a really good moment to what Griffin was talking about, where he's like, you know, he's like, oh, I'll take care of this, and like yells at the guy, and she's like, oh, you're so sweet, you did this for me, and the second she walks away, he calls him back and is like, get back here, fuckhead, like I don't care,
Yeah.
do what you want.
Yeah.
That actually is that was one of the good moments where you're like, yeah, that makes sense.
That's an honest portrayal of what men are really like.
Yes, all of you.
Yes. Thank you.
They have their lunch
Caroline
date.
looked right at me when she said that.
Hashtag all men.
They have their lunch date where they talk about breasts and then go back to work on the turn.
Oh yeah,
Sure.
she's like, I like looking at nice tits. Always have. It's like it's the
Right,
reverse.
that's-
I've had
I like
a pussy
having
problem.
nice tits.
Yes.
Right. That's
no,
when
is
Gina.
it having? I thought I was looking at.
Well, no, but Nomi's reply is, "I like having nice tits."
Oh, right.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
It's in
yeah.
the- yeah,
It's sexy
right.
banter.
And it's when
sexy banter.
Very sexy.
Gina Gershon is wearing what I can only describe as a Zorro hat.
Yeah, well, she starts embodying this like
She looks
really.
amazing.
She looks amazing. She's doing like this butch cowboy thing.
It's so good.
It's so good.
And she's just sitting at one of the tables and just like watching her
She's just
dance
got her
around.
like arm around a chair. She's drinking some champagne. She's looking
dressed like
down
Roy
and
the
then
Moore.
basically calls her over and says, "What's
Yeah.
it nice like? What's it like to have nice tits?" Which is, let's be clear, that's an HR issue. She should go back to that lady she told her
100%.
social security number to, who is like the normal HR lady.
She's her superior at work. She
But it's
can't do
also
that.
like I mean, just speaking to what Ben was saying, like I don't know,
I
10 years
believe
ago.
Nomi saying
there-
that's why I like having nice tits is when Joanna was like, I'm going to bed.
But it's like every other scene they have together.
Also, I'm moving out.
yes.
Also, we're done.
Sorry, say what you're saying.
No. But I mean, I think Ben was touching on it earlier. Is that like every other scene, like in one scene they're flirting and it's just like super like they're into it, and then the other scene she's like, I fucking hate you. You don't get anything.
Right. It's very teenage relationship-y, which is
Oh,
fine,
that's
I
kind of a
guess,
nice
right?
way to look
like,
at
that's
it.
the best read
I
you could
just,
have
like,
on
just-
it.
That
Like,
made
they
me a little
bond-
happy.
Yeah.
They bond over both eating dog food.
Oh yes, that's right.
That is a dark scene.
That is what you were talking
shit-
about.
this
She
movie
just
says-
hits it.
What do women talk about?
Dog food.
All I talk about with my friends.
Yeah.
It literally is
Compliment
like
each other's tits and talk about eating dog food.
We all do it.
It's
Did you not do that?
crazy.
Hold on, I think I got dog food.
I used to. She says I used to love eating dog food or whatever, and you're just like,
And well,
it's
it's
unremarked upon.
Well, no, because Gina says it first, and you're like, "That's weird," and then Nomi's like, "Me too,"
Oh,
and you're
I
like,
loved it.
"That's weirder."
We forgot to mention Ben miming doing a line of coke off the soundboard just reminded me the first 45 minutes of Gina Gershon's performance she's doing a
Oh,
bump
yes.
of coke every 5
Out of her
seconds
pinky
and
nail.
then just
She's
stops.
got her
Out
amazing
of her
pinky
pinky
nail.
nail.
Well, but then Nomi starts doing the
coke
coke.
nail.
Nomi
Yes.
refuses all coke for the first half of the movie, and then she starts doing
Well,
coke.
because at the no, I don't.
Well,
wanna,
she gets high when she fucks Kyle Maclachlan.
I mean, she'd have to.
Well, something's in her system when she's in the pool. I mean, you know that
This
is.
might come as a surprise.
Yeah.
I didn't like that sex scene.
Oh no, you didn't like it?
Normally I like wet stuff, but that shit sucks, dude. That sucks.
It's wet on wet pool and like
Such a screaming
waterfall.
episode.
And there's the
I thought you were
like,
going to say something else.
What did you think he was going to say?
I thought he was going to talk about a bottle of Poland Spring. I don't know. I give up. I give
all right,
up.
listen,
Shut up.
the fluorescent light, the palm trees behind
Okay.
the pool.
Are we there
that-
yet? Can we
yeah,
talk
we're
about
there.
that?
We're there.
Great.
That shit is vaporwave one,
All right.
and cool as fuck.
Okay, I said the same thing. I was like, "This is a great pool.
I like it. It's not trashy at all. It's
It's a
good.
great move.
It's
got
good.
dolphins, water's coming out of their mouths. What's not to like?
A waterfall that's timed, so it only turns on and off every once in a while.
Oh, that's true. Yeah,
That's cool.
It's
You know
lit.
that hacky thing where like a kid
I
walks
meant it's lit
in-
up, but it's also
Yeah,
lit.
both.
It's lit.
It is. lit.
That hacky thing where like a kid walks in and their parents having sex and thinks that they're fighting.
Mm-hmm.
The pool sex scene is like someone adapted that kid's description of sex. Like, why are you being so mean to each other?
This is a great episode.
Why are you hurting mommy? But
Yeah,
it's
so-
why are you hurting daddy?
Yeah, why are you
episode,
hurting
right?
Berkeley?
Yeah, it's
Why
going
are you hurting
good.
Nomi?
I like how this episode's gone.
There is
Yeah.
kind of.
Caroline, you're a great guest.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah.
It's all Skittles. It's
You're
all
the-
very Skittles.
White cheddar bagel twist of the yes.
Twist.
Twist.
I know it's a compliment coming from you, so I'll take it.
Twisted.
There is a
Crunch.
moment before the floppy sex where it looks like she's kind of trying to give him an underwater blowjob.
Yeah.
And
Not easy.
No.
no, nay, impossible.
Bodies are buoyant.
I don't understand how that happened.
Also, they require oxygen.
They do.
Yeah.
I think this is when I started clutching at my face and just never stopped until
I mean,
the end of the movie.
the sex scene is insane.
I mean,
And,
it's-
like,
I hate
it's
it.
one of those things where people are like,
It makes me very upset.
one of those things where people, and I'm glad Joanna did not watch that scene because I
Yeah.
think she might have like
Actually
literally
left.
dumped me.
Yeah.
Because I tried to set up with like, well, it's this camp classic and it's been reevaluated by Jacques Rivette, and she's like, I don't care.
You used to reveal
I quoted Jacques Rivette at her. She was not interested.
Joanna, you know how you love Out too? Well, what if I told you?
Sorry.
I don't even
That
know what
scene-
else there is to say.
there's more to say. I can't imagine how, because there's this quote from Maclachlan on the
there are a
wiki.
bunch of things from him where he's like, I had no idea this is what the movie was while we were making it. I
Right,
saw it
that-
at the premiere.
And when he saw it at the premiere, he was like gobsmacked by how horrible it was, and it's like this sinking feeling
his career.
for sure.
I looked at like
This was kind of the blow.
I looked at a
Yeah.
bunch of people's IMDb's and there's like at least
There's
besides
like
for
a
Gina,
cushion.
there's
Except
like
for Gina,
3 or 4.
Gina
5
bounces
years
from
at least.
this, which she's wonderful in, to Bound, which she's even better in. Like
Yes.
this is, she stays in the sort of exploitation movie zone.
Right.
Right. Well,
like neo
that's a
exploitation.
smart way to play it.
And
And
she
then
does
you're just
Face
really
Off,
you're
too.
really
Yeah.
good in those, and
Right.
then you can move out of those.
But like Kyle MacLachlan,
He had a hard time.
He stops.
his next
yeah.
major role is Claudius in the Almaguer Hamlet.
Yeah. He
and
can
that's a
only
small role.
play creepy from here on out. Like he's
Yeah.
broken.
Well,
Well,
no,
and then
he
he-
kind of reclaims it with Sex in the
I was
City.
gonna say then he gets Sex in the
Oh,
City,
yeah.
where
and
he's like nice creepy.
right. He does like a really earnest thing, and then at some
Would
point
you
it
like
takes
to
a
measure
turn.
my John Thomas? Something he
Thank
says
you for
in
the
bed.
eye contact as you
'Cause
quoted that.
As a
I
Charlotte,
hated that, David.
speaking as a Charlotte,
Oh, you are a Charlotte.
I obviously really liked. But when I was a kid, I watched Sex and the City like when it was on TV.
Okay, yeah.
It's probably similar to whenever I watched Showgirls, thinking like, "Hey,
This is it?
No,
Right there in the title. Yeah.
And I loved Kyle MacLachlan because I had seen him in Twin Peaks, which my father was obsessed with. So I had like watched old Twin Peaks, not all of them or something. So I was always like very locked into Kyle MacLachlan at a younger age.
Yeah.
But he is a creepy person in Sex and the City.
Well, it's weird
There's no
because
question.
I think he's not supposed to be at first. But
Not
he's,
at first.
But he's always got that a little bit.
I mean, that movie.
Like, I don't think that's what the script was asking for at
Well, at
first.
first
and
he's
then,
supposed to be charming.
And then they're like, and he's also, he's got an umbilical cord attached to his mom.
Right.
And then he becomes.
Because I think the arc in Sex and the City, the idea is like finally Charlotte gets the man she wants. He's like rich,
He's
he's
perfect,
preppy,
yeah.
he's like really attentive.
But he's like
and
the
it's no,
guy
he's
who has
obsessed
like
with
the
his
giant
mother.
house, and then it's like a Cask of Amontillado situation. You like open the floor, and there's just like a whole
I remember taking
bunch of dead showgirls.
I took Romley to see Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants 2, where he essentially reprises this character as the director of a school play.
Oh, no.
I'm
God.
forgetting
I've never seen Sisterhood 2.
Which sister has to be in the school play, but they do like a 42nd Street thing where she has a smaller part. The main girl gets sick and she takes over.
Is it Tamblyn? Because she's always the one who's like stuck at home being bored. But that's in the first one.
It's not Tamblyn. I think it's not Tamblyn. I can't remember. It might be Blake Lively.
Sure.
But anyway, he plays a creepy director in that. And when he came on screen, I started laughing hysterically.
And your
Romley
sister
was
like, what?
what's going on?
Yeah.
And I was just like, he used to be a heartthrob.
But now he's a heartthrob again.
I know.
He got it back.
I
He
know.
did. Good for him.
But he had to like go through some shit to get
He
there.
did. He also
Yeah.
just had to go to TV, I think. It was like a lot of it.
Okay, let's get back on track.
You didn't enjoy that?
No, I liked it. I liked it,
But Ben, you were
running-
making the stretch for time.
no, it was not. I was not doing that. Okay.
So
we're-
after this wonderful sex scene with this powerful connection, he gets her the job.
Powerful connection.
He
I mean,
gets
yeah,
her
we're
the
in the
job
last 20
as
minutes
Chris-
where everything happens.
Right,
now.
he gets. That's the thing. He gets her the job as Crystal's understudy.
Yeah.
Right.
She threatens legal action, so she's taken
Crystal's
off
pissed.
this job.
Yeah,
Right,
because
Crystal.
she got rejected and also realizes that she's sleeping with Zach and not her.
Right,
and he
Zach
actually
has
calls her
that
out on
line
it.
where it's like, "Are you mad that I fucked her? Or are you mad that I fucked her
I
before
beat
you
her.
got
That
to
I
her?"
beat you. Do it.
Right.
And so
Also,
then
someone's broken their knee on monkey shit.
someone's broken their knee.
Oh, that's
then
right, because,
Nomi
yeah.
pushes Crystal down the stairs.
Right.
And then another person covers for her, and in response wants to be the understudy, kind of being like,
Right.
Well,
tit
yeah,
for
the
tat.
person who
Pun
also
intended.
right because like
Yeah.
Nomi sees her take out the other girl and like
Right.
doesn't say anything, and the girl doesn't return. Blah blah blah.
But also, at one point, she randomly goes to see Plummer's dance show, which he has put on
At the cheetah, though.
with Penny, and they get
And the
booed
cheetah
off.
audience is not into it.
No, because they're like,
Unsurprising.
yeah, we
Weird.
want to see a strip
like-
routine,
How do you describe this
not
routine?
a postmodern
Right,
deconstruction.
they're like wearing
of
the
a
black
strip-
tights and they're
Right.
doing like the sexy New York like jazz club music or something.
And then very quickly, it turns out they're engaged because Penny got pregnant. And it almost seems for half a millisecond that he's gotten decent.
No.
And then he just immediately says a bunch of awful things. And
Yeah,
Nomi
what does he
walks
say to her?
away.
He's like, get a drink, bitch. And it's just like weird. It's like so
Yeah.
aggressive.
Yeah, well, you know how I joke. Anyway,
No, we don't know how you joke.
I'm getting married now.
and she's
honest
like,
man.
and she's basically like happy for you, and then that's the last of him.
And he's gonna go work for his mom and get hours at her grocery
As
store.
I said,
right?
that's actually really depressing too. Where he's like, "I knocked this girl up, and I'm going to work at a grocery store because her mom owns one." It's like a
Right.
whole little
Routine
story
just
in one
flops.
Yeah,
second.
they have a whole other
He's
movie
got a
going
pussy
on.
problem. So
Like he and Penny are in a totally other movie.
Yes,
they are.
called
And,
Showgirls 2, Pennies from Heaven.
and then there's the Molly gets to meet at Nomi's big coming out
okay.
party,
Oh,
essentially. At Nomi's opening night celebration.
We're all just
This
head
guy,
in their-
Andrew Carver, who is played by a total
He's like a
rando.
pop star.
Yeah, he's,
Earlier in the film, they've
he's
seen
sort
a
of like a
poster of him.
Fabio.
He's got a Fabio thing going.
Molly's
Some
got
sort
a
of
big
Vegas
crush.
star. Molly's got a big crush on him, somewhat inexplicably, I gotta say.
Right. Yeah.
And then there's like this, incredibly inexplicably because she and Nomi were in a relationship
It's
in their trailer.
Yes.
yeah, this is
Yes.
true.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes no sense when she's like, "Oh my god, this guy," and you're like,
I
"No
love
one's buying
him," and
this.
you're like,
"No."
Okay.
Also, the chips are her blender too, right? The like
What?
potato chip stuff in the trailer, where she's always
Oh,
like,
yeah,
"Did you
yeah, yeah.
hide the chips?" Like, I'm like, "What is this?"
That's a good. We haven't
That's a
talked
good
about blenders enough. We need
Yeah.
to talk about them. That Alex Ross Perry, a previous guest. It's Enemy of the State, where Will
Yes.
Smith's character is obsessed with this blender, and it has no
Oh.
plot purpose. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
weird character details that can lift right out of the screen.
Yeah, they try to do like all the other dancers eat brown rice and vegetables, but she likes chips and
Oh
burgers.
man,
Yeah.
the
Right.
fucking
Shouldn't even
brown
talk
rice
about
and
that
vegetable
so
lines
much.
800 times. What's her name? God, the choreographer.
Gay?
Oh, is it?
Yeah, that's her name.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
It is. She's
Look, she fits with the rest of the movie. That's all
Gay
I'm saying.
Carpenter, played by Michelle Johnston.
Gay Carpenter.
Okay, so this awful thing that happens in the movie.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of the most egregious, like, absolutely unnecessary
I agree with that.
rape scenes.
I agree with
there
that.
Are
100%, especially for how late into the movie we are and
It's
how
so
much else
late in
the
the
film
movie.
has going on.
right. So like they get introduced and he takes her to a room and she's getting gang raped by him and the bodyguards while Nomi's having this like storybook little dance.
So the one piece of credit I'll give to Verhoeven or Esterhaus or both or whoever, and it's probably not for good reasons, but I do think it's incisive that she is into him, goes back to the room, and they still assault her. Which is this thing that keeps on coming out in these stories that we're reading, where it's like these guys are addicted to the power of the thing more
it
than
has nothing
anything
to do
else.
with like she was gonna have sex. She was like into it.
Right.
Right. No,
Right.
I mean that's true.
Like the level of depravity.
Sure.
and there's something to the fact that they literally throw her out into
Yes.
the middle of the party,
Yeah.
bloodied,
With
and
no fear of
no one
repercussion.
cared.
And
Right.
of course, right, Zach's reaction is, we're going to pay her off and this is never going to be
right.
spoken of.
All that
Is
unfortunately
tracks,
tracks.
realistic.
Does track.
Right.
But it's so
Wait,
late in the movie.
don't
The
make
thing
us
about it is
watch
it's coming,
this.
it's all in like 5 minutes, all of a sudden.
Molly hasn't been in this movie for like half an hour.
And we
Absolutely.
love Molly.
We love
Don't
Molly.
Do this to Molly.
and
That's why they do it to Molly.
I know.
it does feel like Esterhaus is just sort of like,
Oh, we have this person. She could be raped though. She could be the one.
Yeah.
well, that's certainly an issue. But it's also like where he's like, there needs to be an ending that communicates that this world is bad. And it's like, we know it's
Or
bad.
like we need to have a moment where Nomi like fights back.
Yeah.
Right.
But
because
it's
of
not
course,
even her.
Nomi's low point is pushing Crystal down the stairs. And
Yeah.
I guess here is where she has this like shred of like, oh, right.
Hey,
like,
Esterhaus, jumping through
family.
a time machine here to give you advice. If you want an ending to show that this world is bad, take any scene that has previously existed in this movie, copy paste it, and play it again at the end. That's
Yeah,
your ending.
like they didn't need this.
no,
They didn't need it the way it was filmed. It's like it's so upsetting.
It's
Andrew
beyond
Carver's got
upsetting.
like his tongue out like a lizard. Like it's so
Oh,
awful.
Yeah,
There's-
every
it's-
fucking detail. Yeah,
It's just really. I think there's a lot of stuff in here that's awful for the sake of being awful.
yes,
And
now,
this is
right.
and I feel like it actually it makes total sense that at one point it is built to this because that's like the most obvious example of something being terrible,
Which,
like
like, this either
including
feels-
a bad thing just to be
Right.
like this bad thing happened.
Right, but it's like one thing if this is at the beginning of the movie, then you know what movie you're watching.
Right,
Like
and I
that's
mean-
clearly the die they're trying to cast. But here it's now just like, okay, we have 10 minutes to go, so what's going to happen? So again, it's a conversation with Kyle MacLachlan.
sorry. I don't mean to be yawning.
They go to the hospital. She has this conversation with Kyle MacLachlan.
Yeah.
Where she's like, "Where are the police? Why aren't they here?" And he's
Right.
like, "They're not coming."
They're not coming. I'm dealing with this.
That's not how this works.
He's not getting in any trouble.
You're a star
Guy's
now.
good- yeah.
We've already announced you at
You're
a
a
press
star,
conference
he's the
with
star.
Chip, what's his name? And
Smith?
yeah, Chip Smith, right.
Question mark?
And And then he throws on her that he knows all her information.
He's got all her information.
The name.
Her name is what? It's
Pollyanna Costello.
Right, because it's like Pollyanna.
Yeah.
Very
So
subtle.
she's a Pollyanna. That she was a runaway and a prostitute. Her father murdered her mother and then killed himself.
She grew up
She's
in foster
basically
homes.
Sawyer from Lost.
She's every single thing. Her
It's
parents
true.
are dead. She was in foster home.
Yeah.
She had a crack cocaine problem. She
been
solicited.
arrested for prostitution, for drug possession, assault with a deadly weapon. Her response is, "I'm going to get my switchblade and go beat the shit out of that guy."
Well, first she
That's
spits
after
in
he tells her that
Maclachlan's
she's a
face.
fantastic fuck.
Yeah.
And also asks how much she charged.
Well, that's the thing, right? So he's like, "Oh, you were you got low self-esteem, baby."
Yeah.
I will say that spit was well done.
Really well
Yeah.
done.
Because there's a moment when she starts smiling and you're like, "What is this?" And then she just spits like a lot of spit.
A lot of spit.
I mean, it's obviously just water, but
One
it's, like,
assumes.
It's good.
but it's good.
And
And then she goes and kicks the shit out of that guy.
Kicks the shit out of that guy. Goes and sees Molly and is like, "Don't worry, I kicked the shit out of
And
that
then
guy."
but then she decides-
Molly's like, "Okay."
Molly is so out of it.
right.
In
Then
this
goes
hospital.
to see Crystal and
and
says,
it has
"Sorry,
like
I
her
pushed you down the
Casablanca
stairs."
ending. You
Yeah.
know?
Right, well, it's like, so then she does this for her friend who's so beaten up.
Right,
that she's in the
strangers in the
hospital,
night, if only
and
we
then
could be
leaves
together,
her.
and then
So
gets
that's-
Leaves her forever.
Leaves her forever, which
Goes
sucks.
to see Crystal
In the same hospital.
in the same. All the victims.
No, I'm saying the Crystal ending's the Casablanca
Yeah.
ending.
Where
That's
she
the,
and Crystal's
right,
like,
yeah.
"You know what, kid? I pushed someone down the stairs once. Let's
All
make
been
out."
there. Yeah, exactly.
So they do.
They
Yes, they
do.
do.
And then she goes back hitchhiking. Who picks her up? The same fuckhead, and she takes up the knife
I mean,
again.
yeah. And,
And
she's
says,
got,
"I want my fucking suitcase."
Right.
That I believe is the last line of the movie.
I think
Yes.
so.
It's on a par with.
I think the last
fuck
line is,
and,
like him just like fucking screaming.
and we roll by her billboard.
And then the camera
Goddess.
hands up further, and what do we see now?
The Hollywood sign.
Los Angeles.
Which to me is like the end of Friday the 13th when like Jason comes up out of the water.
Right, or it's like the end of The Departed where the rat runs
Right.
across
It's
the
not
room and
gonna
we're
be-
like, we get it.
It's not going to be better.
Oh no, that's the thing. See, I don't think it's like the Departed rat where it's like, did you get what we were talking about? I think it's like Friday the 13th where
Or
it's, like,
it's only going to get worse.
if she's not safe, it's going to get
It's like the end of The Post.
Yeah. Yes.
We now call it Watergate.
When are they going to announce that fucking sequel? Because it's so unresolved. At the
Post
end of
too
the
hardly
movie.
post.
Post too hyper post. Come on.
Okay, good call. Of course. Yes, I forgot
Yeah.
that's our bit.
So that's the movie called
Showgirls.
Showgirls. And it lost a lot of money theatrically.
We're gonna
it
talk
was
about it.
slammed by critics and then became one of the biggest home video films of all time.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, we both ordered it on. I haven't bought a DVD in years,
Well,
I mean, I
order
know
most
you have.
checks, but yes, yeah.
but I hadn't.
No, it's fair, and
It's
like it's
fascinating.
It's a classic like midnight movie that then becomes right. I mean, like I feel like it was famous at the video rental store because it was this NC-17 movie. It had this
Yeah.
very provocative poster, which is all black, and then her leg. You know,
That's a good poster. I've seen that poster recreated many a time for drag shows, and that's
Yeah,
always
it's a great
good.
poster.
It's
But then
always
also,
good.
like, all the covers of the home video releases, and this is a movie that's been re-released like 1,000 different times, have gotten gaudier and gaudier. And they've also, like, they were one of
they've
the
embraced
first.
it, yeah.
Yes. And they have, like, the special features with, like, the drinking games. I remember they packaged it with shot glasses at
Really?
one point.
Oh man,
Like, at peak DVD when you could, like, make anything into, like, a fifth release of something.
Yeah.
But there's, like, all the sort of knowing, self-aware, like, we're Rocky Horror now reframing by the company itself,
yes.
which is pretty fascinating.
Well, because at some point, I guess you have to.
Yeah.
Elizabeth Berkley was dropped by her agent, and other agents refused to even take her calls.
Jesus Christ.
It's like there was like a salting of the earth. I mean, like, and the other thing that's sort of sad is like this movie didn't ruin Verhoeven's career. He
At
gets
all.
to make Starship Troopers 2 years later, which
His
is an
biggest
incredibly
budget
expensive
ever?
movie. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
2 years later,
Yeah. Starship
insane.
Troopers is
Yeah,
97.
like right away, he gets to make Starship Troopers.
I mean, and there is the famous story of him making a VFX presentation of a cow being ripped apart by a giant bug, and then he walks out and goes, "Please let me make this movie." That is how he got Starship Troopers funded.
but also your like Verhoeven impression is, give me the
perfect.
money quickly, and then I'll tell you what the movie's about.
Right. Where they're like, Paul, we had this idea for a movie about an invisible man.
Oh, cool. Just hand me that money very quickly.
We want to. Wait a second. It's like like an updated.
Sure. Just hand me the money quickly.
We were thinking like a budget of like 40 million.
Yeah, hand me the money.
All right, here you go.
It's about rape.
You can stop me. And he runs away with the briefcase.
That's every.
I have the money now.
Yes. You want me to make your bug movie? Hand me the money quickly.
Yes. $100 million.
Yes,
Yes,
it's about Nazis. Never loan Paul Verhoeven $1. If he tells you he needs $1 for coffee,
Nazi coffee.
he's not coming back with French roast. I'll tell you that much.
Okay. So, Caroline, you watched this with your pals.
Yes.
What were their final reviews of this movie?
I mean, I think we all loved it until it went on too long.
It does go on a bit.
Yeah.
It's kind of good to watch it in 2 stages almost. Take a little break.
Yeah, and
halfway
actually
through.
neither of them had seen the full version. They had
Right.
both seen it a bunch on cable.
Right.
Yeah, you got
Which is too super chopped up, right? So they were actually like, so the scene where she goes and kicks his ass, like that one is super chopped up because she's topless half the time.
Yeah.
With we did not mention very red nipples that look like pepperoni and don't understand why they happened.
Very strange moment. They're made up nipples.
I just
like,
don't
right?
think
Like
this
she's
show
got makeup on
understands
them.
nipples.
I don't
just like in a lot of ways.
Yeah. It's almost like he wrote the script so that he could get notes of people correcting him
Yeah.
and learn the answers to the questions he
Right.
had.
Like he's a boy who doesn't understand what girls are like. So
Yes.
he's like,
How cold do they have to be?
Yeah.
Ice cold?
Right.
should I have a bucket of ice on hand? If a girl's on her period, do you check?
Right.
Do you believe her or do you have to check?
Do they put lipstick on their nipples or not?
How do you know she's enjoying it if she's not fully having a seizure?
Right.
So we're going to play the box office game.
Right.
And I'm going to sit back and watch it happen.
Okay. This movie came out September 22nd, 1995.
Never forget.
Great. It was rated NC-17.
Mm-hmm.
It was released wide-ish, 1400 screen.
Pretty wide.
Pretty
Ben's not happy.
No, it's fine. It's fucking fine. Keep going.
The movie cost $45 million to make.
Wow.
Which is a lot in 95.
Yep.
It grossed 20 domestic.
Okay.
It's made a profit. You
Yes.
know,
Yeah. They said it made over $100 million on VHS alone.
what number do you think it opens to?
7.
2.
What?
Wow.
It opened okay. I mean, not great. $8 million.
Okay.
For a 45 budget, that's not great.
So it's pretty front loaded.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay,
I mean,
yeah.
yeah, its multiplier wasn't good.
No.
Uh,
Okay, opens number 2.
number 1 is also a new movie, a pretty definitive crime film of the 90s.
Cop movie?
Yeah. Detectives.
Detectives.
2 of them
2 of them.
on the trail of a killer.
7?
7. David Fincher's 7. His second film.
What's in the box?
Different things.
Okay, number 12.
Different sins.
There we go. Number 2.
Sorry.
We got it.
Number 2, Showgirls. Number 1 is 7. Number 3 is another camp classic of the mid-90s about drag queens.
It's
Ooh.
Wong Fu, thanks for everything,
Yeah.
Julie Newmar.
Yes, which has made $24 million in 3 weeks. It's going to make 36. It makes more than Showgirls.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Not a bad movie.
Kind of laps it. Yeah.
Swayze, Snipes,
Leguizamo.
and Luigi Mario himself, John Leguizamo.
Oh, God.
When he was at the Gotham, and he was like presenting some award, and he was, whatever. People.
Did you get to meet Johnny Legs?
I didn't, but someone was like, "Oh boy, this is long" or something, and I was like, "He's Luigi. Show some respect."
Did they show any respect for that?
Some people did. I can't remember what he was presenting. It doesn't matter.
And he had a bold take on that character, too, which was, what if Luigi only talked out of one corner of his mouth?
So what if
Mario,
Luigi
come
were
on, Mario.
Waluigi?
Mario.
It is pretty amazing that they were like, these 2 characters, they're video game sprites. They're famous for one thing, being Italian American. Let's cast a British guy and a Puerto Rican guy. Like, what, like, how, and yet they're both good casting. You know what I mean?
What's the other thing they're famous for? They're brothers. Let's cast a 21-year-old and a 47-year-old. Like, Leguizamo was so young in that movie.
I'm sorry, he's not Puerto Rican. I knew this. No, he is of Puerto Rican and Colombian descent. Yeah, sorry.
Good save.
Anyway,
There's at
I
least
just
15.
wanted to triple check that.
There's
Because
at
he's a New
least-
Yorker, so
Yes.
sorry, carry on.
There was at least 15 years between the 2 of them in that movie, right? That shows.
Oh, I mean, there has to be. I mean, Hoskins was born in 1942,
Okay.
and Leguizamo was born in 1964. So yeah, there is 22 years
Yes.
between them.
Yes.
You were almost exact.
Brothers.
Brothers. Okay, number 4.
Mhm.
I believe that's like the second time very quickly we've invoked Super Mario Brothers on this podcast.
Yeah, it came up with some other numbers.
Number 4 is a famous teacher movie. Big hit of 1995.
Dangerous Minds.
You got it.
This was a big weekend.
Yeah. You seen Dangerous Minds?
No.
Michelle Pfeiffer?
Oh,
Gangsta's
well, I should.
Paradise?
That immediately got me interested.
Yeah. It's not a great movie.
I just watch TV comedies. I don't really watch movies.
That's your description of this recording session?
Yep.
Ben is so mad.
It's number 5.
Red
He's
Whip
getting them
anger.
fast, Ben.
I know.
Scarlet with Ridley.
Number 5 is another cop movie.
Okay.
It's like sort of a gritty New York City crime drama
How many
from a
cops?
very famous director. I mean, there's one major cop. It's about a cop and like a kid, like a sort of teenage
Cop and a half?
boy. No, it's a drama.
It's a cop and a teenage boy. Big star?
Who's the big star? Oh,
What?
no.
Is the cop a big star?
Medium star. A famous actor. Not exactly like a box office draw.
And is the kid famous?
He becomes more famous, but not huge. Like a, sort of like pretty well-known actor. It's directed by a pretty famous director who makes a lot of
So
movies.
just a lot of medium famous
yeah,
people.
Yeah. It wasn't a huge hit. Made $13 million domestic. It's based on a book.
When was this
I
director?
don't like this movie. We're in it. I mean,
We're
the
in it.
90s. I mean, he's still going though. He's
He's still going.
he pumps them out.
90s is when
the
it was
90s, especially the early 90s, is when he's famous. Late 80s, early
kind of a
90s.
misstep.
There's a Netflix show out right now based on one of his movies.
There's a Netflix. Is it a Spike Lee film?
Spike Lee film.
And it's a cop and a kid.
Yeah, a teenager.
1995. What is this? Clockers?
Clockers.
I've never known what Clockers is about.
Oh, really? It's
Yeah.
like a
So you
murder
just picked the
mystery,
one that you didn't know?
kind of.
Yeah,
But
that's
it's
what I
about
did,
like
yeah.
Harvey Keitel's the cop, and Mekhi Phifer is
Oh,
like the kid who
he
witnessed.
gets more famous.
He does, but he's not like a superstar.
yeah.
He's like
No,
a famous actor.
Okay.
Like
Yeah.
John Turturro's in that movie. Shockingly, John Turturro was in another Spike Lee movie. I know you can't believe it.
Can't believe that.
Who else
Yeah.
is in that movie? Delroy Lindo. But it was Mekhi Phifer's debut.
Okay.
Isaiah Washington, Keith David.
Aren't they now threatening to make a TV
Sticky
show out of
Fingers.
that as well?
Threatening.
Probably.
Threatening. I
It's a
think they're
Richard Price
threatening.
novel.
They're
Richard Price goes on to work
Netflix
on The
at
Wire.
knife point to make a series.
No
out
one
of
has to
Clockers.
threaten Netflix at knife point to make anything.
That's what they tell them.
So we've also got Unstrung Heroes in the top 10. Remember that?
Nope.
Do you know who directed that movie? Diane Keaton.
What?
What movie are you talking about?
Unstrung Heroes,
Okay. I shouldn't
Different
have asked.
movies.
starring Andy McDowell and who? John Turturro. I'm not kidding. Got Usual Suspects hanging around.
Okay.
Hackers. I bet you like that movie.
I've
not.
never seen
Is
Hackers.
Unusual Suspects gonna have to change their credits?
Unusual Suspects? Oh, because Kevin Spacey was in it?
No,
But
there's
Kevin Spacey.
Oh, we should mention that.
Yeah.
That's really good. Our fans we made a joke about credit billing with but before an actor's name.
Instead of and
And there
or
was a
with
whole
or
Reddit
whatever.
thread that came up on the subreddit for our podcast, debating what the proper use of but would be.
Mhm.
And what they came to is actors who have now been outed as horrible
Perfect.
monsters.
Right.
You
So
have to
it's
sort of
like
apologize in the
Gabriel
credit
Byrne,
block.
Benicio del Toro, but Kevin Spacey.
Right.
yeah.
But Kevin Spacey.
No, that's perfect.
You got Babe.
A good
OG
movie
pig?
made by good people, starring a good pig. I just want something to be nice in this world.
That'll do, Griffin.
But, babe.
And then right
Yeah.
behind it, you got Braveheart, baby. That's right. Back to Darkness.
Yeah.
But Mel Gibson.
Directed by a
Gibson.
butt.
And starring.
Yes.
You got Mortal Kombat,
Okay.
Batman Forever.
But more
And
like
this is
Bartman.
also the weekend that Empire Records debuted in 87 theaters.
That I've seen.
Classic.
I'm starting to feel like Ben now.
We're done.
I'm feeling baked, Ben.
Just end it.
Even
I
worse than
mean-
my white cheddar bagel twist.
We all
I
gotta
can't
go.
tell if you're kidding
we all
or
gotta go
not,
to different places.
because I know you're doing your bit as well.
It's long.
You just handed me a napkin.
There wasn't something written on it? Is there something written on it?
Is it for me?
Hold on, it's a note for Caroline.
This
What is
might
this?
might be optionable.
It says
This napkin of
it
yours.
says, "Do you want to keep doing
no,
this
no,
podcast? Check yes or no."
Caroline, how do you feel about this?
I think you got something here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right,
I
Show
know,
it to
Griffin.
Griffin. Show it to
What's
Griffin.
about to happen? Let me see this.
Just congratulations on being on the ground floor of this. This $10 million idea Ben just jotted on a napkin.
Do I read it
I think you do.
Yeah, read it.
Here we go.
on a napkin?
Through your white cheddar bagel twist, which you're eating as we speak.
He is.
I'm done. Ben has read it.
Can't wait to make this
You
movie.
can do it, my friend. And we're ending the episode on this.
On this.
What if The Hangover but young? Call it The Buzz.
The Buzzed.
All right, so please remember to rate, review, and
Thank
subscribe.
you all for listening. Go to blankies.reddit.com for some real nerdy shit. Thanks,
Thank you so
Ange, for
much.
Aguda for social media. Oh, well, thank you. Give
Oh,
me a
I'm so
second.
sorry.
Joe Bowen, Pat Reynolds for our artwork, Lane Montgomery for our theme song. Caroline Framke, thank you so much for
Thank
being
you,
on the
and
show.
I'm so sorry.
Never apologize. And as always, I really hope Donald Trump isn't still the president by the time this episode comes out.
Just say that every week.